Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is ExZac Change, and I'm happy to be here today with my guest, Deece Casillas.
What's up, man?
Hey.
You even got the name right, too. People know me for years slaughter that last name so bad still.
How bad would it be if I just didn't even know
That's
it?
fine. I don't care. I wouldn't hold it against you. Most people can't. We're in Washington State, man. I'm like one of 3 Mexicans.
He said Deece Casillas.
Yeah, that's what. Actually, this dude who used to own a venue I performed at, that's what he called me.
Oh,
like Deece Casillas. That's how I remember. I'm like, remember what? You're not saying my actual last name.
Well, what about so I was watching the thing where you were going out and you were interviewing people.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, hey, I got a picture of a famous person. And it was you. Right?
Yeah, I did that 2 years ago. I was doing my talk show at the comedy club. And like late night talk show, and that
you had
was
a
one of the
late night talk show at the comedy club.
Yeah, I did that for a while. I had to put on. I'd love to go back to it. I'd like to go back to it. I had to put on hiatus. It was too much to do. It was like that took so much time that I couldn't do all my other projects. I loved it, but man, I was write a new monologue every month, write a new sketch, film the sketch, book the guests.
What was it like, Jay Leno? Like,
yeah, it was like a talk show, man. I did like format like the Tonight Show. That's how it was. I would do a new monologue every month. Then I have some sort of segment like the Man on the Street segment or sketch comedy I did.
Yeah.
I'd book a guest. It'd be like usually someone in the community, some sort of, I had like Ben Stuckert, who was city council president. I had. I can't remember now because it doesn't matter. All sorts of people. Then I have a comedian and then a musical guest, and so we do it like a talk show. Yeah, and it was. I loved it. The comedy club owner loved it. It had a pretty good following, but it was just too. I don't need. It was too much, man. I can't do all that.
So as soon as you stopped doing it, it just stopped.
Yeah, it was my show. I pitched it to the club, and they picked it up and wanted to do it.
Dude, that's so fucking dope.
Man. Like,
when was that?
I think I stopped doing it about. Less than a year ago, probably like 8 months ago. It's probably been since the last one. About that, we did it for about a year or so, and it just got to the point where the hard part was I had it kind of like the Daily Show, where I had the screen up at the comedy club, so I would have like pictures that were related to my jokes during the monologue and stuff like that. But because of that, they weren't jokes. I couldn't like put them up on their feet and work them at open mics for a month. I just had to crash course it like one shot. I didn't have a what the hell is it called? The
teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Yeah. I didn't have a teleprompter. So I had to like just remember this monologue. And one day I couldn't practice it or anything because I couldn't go tell these jokes at open mic. They didn't make sense.
Because you need the vision. You need the visual.
Like, most of them were non sequiturs or just like one-off jokes that didn't really. I mean, some of them lasted a little bit, but most of them were like topical shit. So I couldn't.
So usually they're sitting there looking at the monologue, and you're reading it as it's going, and you're literally sitting there trying to remember.
Yeah, I just had to crash course remember 10 minutes of jokes every month, that like new jokes in addition to all my other jokes I do, and make it work. I never forgot a joke, but man, it would have been way easier to.
And were any of them filmed? Or you just had to be there?
We didn't film any of them. We wanted to. That was the eventual goal. But it was another thing. Like I was talking to Deece off the air before we started, man. Like trying to do anything else. I have enough projects. I can't do one more thing. And I would have been editing this film and putting it out.
You're doing everything.
I do everything as it is. I can't do. You
need like the Tonight Show crew.
Yeah, if I had a crew to write and produce and do things for me, it'd be a lot easier. But I don't have that kind of juice yet.
Good help is hard to find.
Yeah,
good help is hard to find.
The whole reason I wanted to do this podcast in the first place was to bring attention to cool shit like that I had no fucking idea was happening. Like I was obviously here, 2 years ago, and I had no fucking idea that at the comedy club they're doing the fucking Tonight Show.
Yeah, it was great. It was a fun. I'd love to bring it back. I've actually thought about bringing it back and doing it in my living room, like legitimately without an audience, but filming it and doing it in my living room.
Beautiful.
And because I don't have any furniture because I'm a serial killer, and so I could set it up in my living room, but. Again, it's just another thing. Right now, I'm so busy. I don't need.
What's the thing you do with in front of the curtain? You do the fucking.
The inappropriate motivational speakers.
Yeah. Bro. I love that one, bro. I was just watching all of them. I was like, this is great.
That was from an idea. My friend and I, actually, my buddy who just passed away, comic friend in town. We had a lot of conversations. That was one of them. We just started ranting about this guy who gives advice, which is horrible advice, and inappropriate motivational speakers was born. So those are easy because I can write them and they're just like one line, it's like two lines maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit down and film like 8 of them in 10 minutes. And I can edit them really quick because I have the same framework for each one. I just have to edit out one video and put in the new video. And
okay.
I can they're easy to
it's not a lot of work. Yeah.
You can produce them as fast as they render on,
Dude, why? I was hoping I would see more of that stuff on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot.
I'm so bad at Instagram and Twitter. Those are my I just started figuring out how to get a following on Facebook in the last year, and I am.
What's
so
Facebook?
Bad. Yeah, I know, right? I know.
We're not even on Facebook.
What's your MySpace?
I know that's what it's so crazy. I cannot figure out. I cannot keep up. I just in the last year started getting really good engagement on. Facebook. I think about a year ago I started cranking up really big because I was doing a lot more shows, and also I started doing this segment like this, these jokes of if you want to keep people from the West Side in California from moving here, and I started doing these jokes about Spokane, and
Genius.
really I did almost 50 of them, and I was doing them one a day, and that started getting a following, and then. Since then, it's been pretty good. Instagram, I'm just now starting to get. I've been on it for 2 years.
Fuck, dude, I missed so much on Facebook. I haven't heard any of those 50 fucking little zingers, dude. Damn.
Yeah, they're. You not on Facebook?
No.
Oh man, gave it up.
I gave it up, dude. As soon as my grandma got on, I was off. I was like, I'm done.
This isn't cool anymore.
Well, dude, I'm like, if I'm smoking weed or something, my grandma's disappointed on Facebook.
My grandma's been disappointed me for years. I gave up fucking gig. I don't give a shit. Yeah, man. Actually, it's funny today, or just like an hour ago before I came here, my cousin, I posted something on Facebook about last night's Super Bowl, and everyone's mad about this shit, like the Super Bowl halftime show, and these same people who are mad about this is an inappropriate halftime show don't say shit about a president who talking about grabbing women by the pussy, they support. And my cousin was like Primo, I hope your mom can't see this. And I'm like, that is the fucking far from the most risque shit I've ever said.
Like, she's caught me. Yeah.
if she's still following me on Facebook, she has seen me say the worst shit in the world, and I'm not tiptoeing around what I say to anyone.
Dude,
I just go for it.
I was talking to my mom on the phone today, and I was just explaining to the podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, a weed store, they sponsor the podcast, and then she asked me, why can't Jesus sponsor your podcast?
Do you have his number?
Maybe he does, man. You don't know. Maybe he's a big fan. He's downloading that in heaven or wherever. I don't know, whatever Jesus is at.
He might
right
not
now.
be in heaven, right?
Yeah.
That might be his spot, but he might be over at another spot, like a skybox of
yeah,
heaven.
He's got a skybox.
He's looking down, all right, y'all doing okay?
I wrote this. I wrote this sketch, and I had this joke I used to do about. Because my brother's a pastor, right? My brother is a
that's right. I just heard that.
And I am somewhere between atheist and agnostic. I say atheist because people know what that means.
What's agnostic again? Yeah.
Agnostic is I'm an idiot. I have no fucking idea. None of us know what's going on.
Oh.
It's just whatever. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be nothing. I don't know. I'm open to ideas.
So an atheist 100% doesn't believe.
Right. Is confident that there's nothing.
Okay.
I'm not that egotistical, right? No, there's nothing. I know I have no fucking idea. And that's what I'm confident in. I have no idea. But I wrote this. I used this bit. And I wrote this sketch actually about Mary, how when she got pregnant with Jesus, she found out she was pregnant. So she got an abortion, but then 3 days later she was just pregnant again. Like, because Jesus rose from the dead in 3 days, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And that. So
How'd your brother take that?
Yeah, right. I think he unfollowed me a long time ago. Because I'll just talk some subversive shit, man. I don't care. I don't want to. I'm not tiptoeing around anyone's like ideals or morals or.
You're not really. You're not putting yourself like thinking like, oh, what are these people gonna say?
No,
because that wouldn't make you a good comedian.
Yeah, you have to censor. I'm not going to censor myself for someone else's. Like, what you ask 10 people what their moral line is, and you're going to get 10 different answers.
True.
And the problem is like all of them are right and none of them are right. You know. And that's
because everybody has their own boundaries, and you get to set your own.
You get to decide. Like, if you don't like it, don't listen, don't support it, turn the channel, whatever. But also, man, other people might be into it, so you can be mad at, let's say, Dave Chappelle's last album was transphobic or whatever. But guess what? I saw him live. He was funny as shit.
So what about
he just won the Grammy for best comedy? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
So
man.
what about people that are offended about the Ari Shaffir stuff?
Oh, with Kobe?
Mm-hmm. Because I guess he does that all the time to like everybody who dies.
Yeah, he does, and that's what he does. That's his thing. He's edgy, and it's a little, I don't know. I'm of the mind where either like everything's on the table or nothing's on the table. Yeah. I wouldn't have done it, but I've certainly made jokes about people
because you're kind of in that same
too.
lane, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'll say things that like so when Philip Seymour Hoffman died, right? Mm-hmm. He OD'd on heroin.
God, I love that guy.
Yeah, and I made the joke of like, it's really sad that Philip Seymour Hoffman, died overdosed on heroin, but it's rare that someone can say they died doing what they loved.
Well, that was good.
That is like, I don't know. That's probably not as harsh as what.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good laugh. But that was like right when he died.
Yeah, that was same day.
And how many people are like die hard, bleed Philip Seymour Hoffman
True,
fans?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No one has a Philip Seymour Hoffman jersey.
Right. I don't think Philip Seymour Hoffman and I have a lot of crossover audience either.
Yeah, true.
We're probably different ends of the spectrum on that one. A well-regarded, like one of the most well-regarded actors of our time, and then me.
Amazing.
So, yeah. The Kobe stuff was weird. I don't know. I thought it was weird because like my brain instantly went to jokes because that's my
that's where you're at. That's where your head's at. Yeah.
And it's my defense. It's how like my head deals with dark stuff as sad stuff as
helps you process.
Yeah, it's jokes. But I think some of the stuff that like Ari Shaffir says is not. There weren't even jokes. Is part of the problem. I think that's when I get when I'm like, whatever. Is when people just say things to incite a reaction. They're not actually making a joke. Like
it wasn't funny.
Right. There's no joke written. There's no nothing. It's just like he deserved to die. He was a rapist. Fuck him. Like, all right. Well, you didn't really make a joke.
It wasn't clever.
Yeah.
Dude, the Philip Seymour Hoffman shit.
Yeah, that was. I at least wrote a
chuckle.
joke.
Ah, that's funny. Yeah.
Can I tell the Kobe joke I wrote?
Yes, please tell it.
So this was the.
He said I wouldn't do it. You want to hear my Kobe joke?
Well, so this is
at least there's a joke there.
This is what came to my head. Kobe, I'm sorry, Gianna, R.I.P. I said, in my head, I go, man, Kobe must have just hit 3 shots in a row on NBA Jam because he's on fire.
Oh.
and then I said, why does my brain work this way? I can't help it, man. That's just how. And it's not. It's
because you're a fucking genius, bro.
I don't
that's
know
why.
about that. I'm broken.
Yeah, that's I think that a lot of people need some comic relief. I think the big thing was that it wasn't funny. The Ari thing. I saw this meme that was like. It was like Jesus like crossing up Kobe, and he's like, "You thought it was sweet up here, huh, bitch?" Or something like that. I just was like, "Oh, like
it is a weird thing. Because it brings out everyone who wants to talk about, the rape case in Denver 18 years ago or whatever, or 7, whenever the hell it was, and it's like, yeah, I get it, man. was a fucked up situation. There's a lot of discrepancies on how that actually went down. You know, I wasn't there. None of us were there. None of us were in the courtroom or have read the court cases. So we don't know. I don't want to not believe someone who comes forward, but also she kind of took a lot of money. Just whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into the details of it. I don't know what happened. But also, like, these people who want to come out and start talking shit now, it's like, you didn't say a fucking word about this the last 20 years, and now that he's dead, you want to talk shit? It's like, you sanctimonious piece of shit. Get on your pedestal for the last 20 years. Don't, like, now decide you want.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
Because the attention is on this thing now, and if
Right.
they do a real sweet tweet, it's going to get 56,000 likes, and then you're going to fucking feel like a hero.
Right. They did something good for a day. I just love the idea of people who are like, type something and then they push away from their desk like, well, work's done.
That's right.
Like, I'm a hero today. Like, go fuck yourself.
Well, bro, it's so many people I'll see on Twitter that'll have like a viral tweet, and it's crazy how many people will like your tweet and then not follow you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like 80,000 likes on your tweet and you still have 150 followers.
Right.
Like,
And I'm like, what is happening? I had some stupid tweet late last night about the Super Bowl. And like, I got all these, it's probably the most engagement I've ever had from a tweet. And there was only like 50 likes and like a couple shares or something.
that's a lot.
And that was a lot for
On
me.
Twitter, that's
And
a lot.
And it was all people who don't follow me. And I just was, because all Super Bowl hashtags, but it was like, I don't even remember what the joke, something about this.
Pull it up.
The Super Bowl hashtag.
Pull
What
it
was
up, Mike.
All right, yeah.
I'm pulling it up.
Pull the joke up.
It's something about the Super Bowl and the halftime show and kids watching it.
Yeah, I think I read the tweet today.
I shitpost a lot, so I can't even remember all this.
Well, the
all
halftime show
garbage
was very beautiful.
I didn't get to see it.
Oh, you didn't
I
see
saw
it?
the GIFs and clips, and I feel like that's enough.
That's
I
enough,
mean,
yeah.
God damn, Shakira's. I mean, they're both amazing. Shakira's, Jesus Christ, that girl.
Yeah, I know.
19 hours ago from Deece Casillas. I'm really upset about the Super Bowl halftime show because kids were watching that, which made it really difficult to beat off to.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I got there. It just took me longer.
I'm
it doesn't
giving,
make you-
I'm giving you one more like right now.
Thank you. Yeah, it just. I mean, so yeah. The whole thing is crazy. I don't know, man. I just want to. I'll talk shit. Doesn't matter.
Well, I know a lot of comedians are, you side with, like you said, it's either everything's on the table or nothing's on the table. If you start censoring one person, somebody's going to censor you, and it just becomes this
Yeah.
whole censorship.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, this
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah, I had this debate with one of the guy who's managing the comedy club here in Spokane like 3 years ago. And we had an egregiously bad open mic, which happens. There's shitty people who don't actually do comedy really, and like bad rape jokes and blah blah, just shit that's not even funny. And he kind of got after everyone and what we can talk about and this and that. You can't say this, you can't say that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine, man. If you want to put rules, but like, just because like these things offend you, like I assume you're gonna also say that like no one can make fun of conservatives or religious people, or because like some people hold that very dear to them. Like not me, I'm pretty liberal and I'm an atheist, but also I understand that some people that's very important to
That's
them.
their world,
So like,
yeah.
why are we allowed to shit on anything that we don't care about? But as soon as it's something you hold sacred, well then all of a sudden you got your fucking panties in a bunch. Go fuck yourself. That's some bullshit right there. Like you should be able to, if you want to talk some shit about, religious people. Guess what? If they start talking shit about things that you hold precious, man, you got to be able to take it both ways.
Of course.
Well, I
to
think
deal
it's
with
just like
that
what
shit.
you were saying about, everybody's got a different funny too. Like
Yeah.
everybody's got it. Oh, it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
To you, it wasn't funny.
Right.
And sometimes I know when you're at that bad of a mic, I'm sure there's a lot of things.
There's a lot that's just bad. It's
That's just
just,
bad,
people who don't, new people at comedy or people who are just never going to get it.
Bro, I had a conversation with somebody. They said that there's no such thing as bad comedy. There's no such thing as bad music. There's no such thing as a bad movie.
I mean,
because it's all subjective.
There's an argument for that. I'm not. I think there's objectively constructs that we've created that do dictate good versions of things. I
Yeah.
think we have created object parameters to define what is good, at least palatable or passable as an art. You know, because you can fucking put make a robot whale queefing in slow motion and put it over a fucking sitar beat, and it doesn't mean it's good. You're like, no, this is music and this is good. Like, no, that's not.
I've
not
heard
music.
Coldplay.
Yeah. All right, show's over. Joke of the night. That's it, guys. Wrap it up.
Never done comedy. Just saying.
You should start. That's good.
Well, I wasn't gonna go for the rape joke this early.
There's
should
still
start.
time. There's still time. So like, but yeah, you can't. There's
Like if it's good to somebody, then it can't. Then it can't be bad because it's always good to somebody. Somebody likes it. Some of the worst music you've ever heard in your
Sure.
life. Somebody's
Yeah.
like, dude, what?
yeah, that's
My shit.
that's true. I still hear music. Like, I mean, I'm a big hip hop guy, but I don't hear anything new really. I like, and people. I got friends who love.
Oh, I would
some of this
show
shit.
you so many things you'd like.
I guarantee you there's things out there. It's the things that come to my world that like everyone's hearing. I'm like, I don't want to.
No, because you're hearing the who are some of these crazy rappers out here?
Fucking
Mellies,
Lil-
YMP, Mellies, and
Lil
there's-
Yachty.
Yeah, Lil
or some-
Yachty,
these guys.
YBN Namir.
I saw something. It was like a bunch of like if Young Thug and Future had a baby, this is what it would be. And that's like everybody.
It's just a lot of
yeah.
this shit just kind of sounds like whale noises or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It's just
It's crazy because like T-Pain did the whole like, he did like the bartender with
Yeah.
like the auto tune, and then you have these other guys. It's just.
He can actually sing though.
Yeah,
too.
he's
a good
T-Pain
singer.
can actually sing.
But then when he came out with that, it was like nobody was like, "Oh, mumble rap." They're like, "Oh, okay,
Right,
this is
yeah.
cool." And then this new stuff comes out. But don't we sound like the people that like were talking shit about our music, like NWA or anything else you were listening to? They're like, "Oh, have you heard Led Zeppelin? Have you heard real music? This is trash."
better
Yeah,
put a
that-
C in front of that. Call it crap.
That's what that's like my dad, like and he's like, "Have you heard Alan Jackson?" I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know, but see, at least. So I mean, I grew up in LA in the 80s and 90s, and like I remember when like NWA's first CD, like first album, I mean, it wasn't a CD then, tape dropped, or like early hip hop music, like West Coast gangster rap, and it happened at a time that was. Like it was a movement. It wasn't like it is now. Like it was necessary for the racial inequality and the police brutality and the things going down in the hood. Like it was. They were talking about something.
it
and
was a
representing
message
something.
at that time, yeah.
So there was, most of white America didn't relate to it. Like, no, yeah, fucking your dad, like Alan Jackson, didn't know what the fuck was going on in fucking
idea.
South Central,
Right.
But like me living there, I'm like, yeah, it made sense to me. Like I got it,
So you grew up in L.A.
Yeah, I grew up Long Beach. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool. What brought you to Spokane?
Oh man, nothing actually. I actually didn't plan on moving here. I was driving through it on my way to Portland, and I stopped for a weekend. I never left.
Wait,
It'll do that to you.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
Black hole.
Portland,
man.
Maine? Where were you going? On the way to Portland.
So it was 2008. I left LA. I lived in the Northwest for a little while during my mid-teens. I moved up to Montana, where my family moved to Western Montana. I lived there briefly, bounced around the Northwest, all over Southwest, into Mexico, kind of everywhere. So wayward soul for many years.
In Mexico?
I lived in Mexico for a while, and then I went back to LA and was in LA for a number of years. 2008 hit. I left LA because the economy crashed in 2008. If I don't
Yep.
know, so I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little older than you guys are, probably.
I was in sales. That's what that. If
I
you
remember it.
Yeah, okay,
2008
yeah,
was
yeah.
doing sales, bro. That's what we were
So
doing.
yeah, it was bad. I had my own business. I was doing I had my business doing consulting, business development, marketing, and stuff. And I was doing comedy on the side, writing on the side, but wasn't full time yet. Doing punch up on scripts.
Were you
and stuff like
planning
that.
on trying to become a comedian, or were you like committed to your business? Like this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
or-
at that time, I don't think I thought about I wanted to be a writer. Like I was writing my first book. I did publish a couple books years ago. I was writing my first book. I mean, writing is what I'd love to do. I'd love to just be an author and write books, man. Like honestly.
Really?
Yeah. But I was doing punch up on scripts because I was doing some open mics, doing some sketch comedy, improv, doing punch up on scripts for people I knew who worked in the industry, like really small shit no one has ever heard of, and the economy collapsed. My lease on my apartment and my office office space I rented all came up on the same month. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna
You're
leave.
at like a crossroads.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get out of California. Maybe I'll come back. And I thought I was gonna come back because I put everything in storage. I just like loaded up my car and dipped out.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go chill. And like, I went up to Montana.
I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna go to Montana.
Yeah, I went and snowboarded.
Fucking
for the winter.
people from LA.
Yeah, dude.
Jesus.
I'm just like, yeah, let's go hang out. I snowboarded all winter, and then I was gonna go to Portland. That's where one of my buddies I grew up with lived. And on my way, I stopped in Spokane. I've been in Spokane before. I used to play Hoop Fest when I lived in Montana.
Okay.
And met a guy at a bar one night who wanted help on a project. He just moved here. He had a online consulting type independent business out of Seattle, and he needed my expertise. He got me to stay for a little while for this project and paid me a good amount of money. And
whoa,
the next
crazy.
thing I've
Just
been
at a
here
bar. Just met this dude.
He'd only lived here a couple of weeks, and I was just coming through, and we just started talking. And we worked together for a couple. Ended up working together for a couple years on stuff.
Wow.
And then I just stayed, man. I started writing and published my first book. Got into, found that wasn't paying much. Found some comedy writing that was paying online. Started doing that shit. And then
And so had you done stand-up at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
First stand-up I did was at Pete's at the Beach on 7th Street and Pacific Coast Highway in Long Beach, California.
What was that like, dude?
It
What
was a
it?
nightmare.
I bet. I could only imagine, dude.
So there was this dude who's just a road comic, never had any notoriety, named Vinny, who used to run this room.
Vinny?
Okay. And he wanted to I used to go watch, and I talked to him, and he's like, "Oh man, you're funny. You should do this." I'm like, "I've always thought about it." So when he's like, "I'm gonna make you go up next week," I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So I'd written jokes and stuff. I just never done them, and I started doing it, and I'm like, "All right, I kind of like this is fun." I never knew a way to I never knew how to make it. Like I never thought about the financial side of making it viable until years later, though.
Of course.
And then it started clicking and making sense.
At first it was like, let's just. I mean, it sounds just terrifying to go on stage and have to try to make people laugh.
I don't know. You do music, man. It's not much different than that. I mean,
it's probably not, but.
I feel like the bar's a little lower though, like we were talking about. I mean, if the beat's good, people will dance to anything.
That's
Motherfuckers
true,
go up
man.
there and rap to their CD playing in the background. And
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? You can't throw on your record and just like lip sync your
Lip
jokes.
sync over it. I should do that one time.
Oh.
Or just do your own ad libs on your
There's
jokes.
music. So the other thing is if you forget some words or you kind of fuck your setup and shit, that music's still going.
Yeah,
you are getting crickets, and that's like. That's like, I'm like, oh my God. Like I just run off the stage and just never come back again. Like change my face. I do Face Off. I do fucking little Nick Cage.
See, I don't know if I'm a robot. I don't have nerve endings. So like I don't get my resting pulse is like 42 beats a minute, man. Seriously, like my resting pulse is like dead. I don't get very excited, but I don't get nervous either. Like I don't have big highs, I don't have big lows. I'm pretty
just even
pretty
keel.
even all the time. So
has it always been like that?
Yeah, I've always been a sociopath. Pretty much, yeah.
I'm very honest.
I've always just kind of been very even, so it was easy for. I don't get that nervous feeling, and I'm pretty comfortable. So even when it's not going as well as I want it to, it's pretty easy for me to be like, I don't know, fuck it. Like I've used these same jokes on, in 600 seat theaters and Crush. So fuck you guys. I don't give a shit.
So
I don't really care.
Is this something that you've developed through your childhood, or is this something that just was always how you were?
Oh, always, man, always. Like I was always loved comedy. I fell in love with comedy as a kid because what I would do is I would pretend like I fell asleep on the floor in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
My dad would like sit on the sofa and watch TV all night, and then he'd like get drunk and pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And if I pretended like I fell asleep on the floor, he would pass out before he'd move me to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could stay up and watch like The Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. Or there used to be this thing called Stand Up Spotlight on VH1 that Rosie O'Donnell hosted, actually. This was in late 80s, early 90s. And I'd watch that show. I was like, 8, 9 years old, and I would watch stand up, and I loved it.
That's when you first found stand up.
Yeah. So, and I love sketch comedy, watching Saturday Night Live, and then The Tonight Show, like watching that.
Who were some of those,
format.
like on that spotlight? Who were some of those young comedians? Do you know, or is anybody?
Norm Macdonald early on. I love Norm. He's still my favorite comic. I love Norm Macdonald.
He's your favorite comic?
Yeah. I love Norm Macdonald.
Norm's awesome.
Norm and Dave Chappelle, those are two polar opposites, but my two favorite comics, I think, as far as stand-up comedy goes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. One of the earliest jokes I remember that, oh my God, it stuck with me still, is when Norm Macdonald was doing Weekend Update, and he's like, top 10 list of worst jobs in America came in. Second worst job in America, crack whore. First worst job in America, assistant crack whore. It was like, and I was like 9 years old. I'm like, that's a funny joke. I'm like, that's really funny.
So you had a good taste for comedy.
I loved
at
it.
a young age
Yeah.
too. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of become like, were you always like, how were you funny as a kid? Were you kind of, playing jokes on people? Were you telling jokes?
I was always like a little of everything, man. I was a prankster. I would mess with people. I come from a big Mexican family, and like you had to have thick skin. Like people were fucking with you all the time too. All my aunts and uncles are all, like my uncles especially. You have to battle, and it's a battle of wits.
Really?
You gotta be fast, and you gotta be able to take some shit, and you gotta be able to sling it back real fast.
Okay.
So you learn, if you want to survive in the family, you got to be able to just battle fast.
So this is
And
where
I was
that
like,
thick skin came from.
Oh yeah.
Early on.
And it just was like natural. And but I was always doing shit. Like I was like a fuck up in school, of course. I remember when I was in 5th grade, our teacher is this first year teacher, and everyone gets around and she's like, all right, stand up and say your name, this and that, da, 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 da. And I stand up and I'm like, oh, my name is Deece Casillas, and I'm an alcoholic. And like, that was my joke. And I'm like, and she was like, looking at me like, how this kid's making jokes about AA meetings in 5th grade. Who the fuck is, like, this kid is this? We made that teacher quit. She quit after 1 year.
It's like this kid has pretended to be asleep on the floor too much. He's being subjected to adult humor. That's funny because she probably laughed. She's probably like, that was good.
Yeah. Well, I always said, the kids, because it was in a new school, a new class, kids they didn't know. I always said the kids who laughed at that joke, I'm like, all right, now I know who has bad parents too, and those are going to be my friends.
Yeah, dude.
Nice little day one litmus test for everybody.
Yeah. If they get the alcoholic joke, I'm like, oh yeah, you're my people.
Because I definitely would have been like, huh?
Yeah.
What's that? Would you say it was a 2nd grade?
The 5th grade.
5th grade. Okay. Yeah. No, I'd have been like, what are you talking about, bro?
Oh man.
Alcoholic. I wouldn't have got it at all.
No?
No.
Yeah,
I was like just green. Like my
Really?
whole, yeah. Like, I mean, my parents were just like super, like I couldn't listen to edited music.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Damn.
and I didn't have like any like really crazy uncle that were like badass, like pounding shit in, like, like hit me with adult shit. Like my mom like kept me in this like she sheltered me
Insulated in
up,
this
bro.
little-
Like I would go to school. Like once you get older, you go to school and you kind of get, you hanging
They
out
can't
with.
help what you're exposed to there.
Yeah, then you're hanging out with all sorts of, degenerates and fucking learning. And then I'm going to your house and you're like, this is how it is at my house. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is
You're
the
learning a lot all of
real
a
world.
sudden.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're like, dude, we have comedy specials here. We have
Yeah.
HBO. We have, it used to be all just like, and then the kids across the street from me, they would be so censored. They couldn't watch anything. Like
Really?
they couldn't watch. It was just like Magic School Bus and Arthur.
God damn.
I
But
know.
they just have PBS. They didn't even get other channels.
Well, you would like try to watch, like a cartoon, like I mean, The Simpsons, and that was like off to everybody. We couldn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
watch that.
Well, yeah, Simpsons was.
But I mean, that's like normal now. Like kids are watching.
They're watching fucking anal gangbangs, man. So you got you porn, man. Those
They
kids are
do.
lucky.
They really
It's
do.
all out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. And there's so many parodies of different, like there's porn parody. Is that what you call like a porn remake?
It's
not a parody.
He's acting like he doesn't know.
Is that what are they?
What's the correct term for
websites?
it?
I think porn parody. Yeah,
What's
I
it?
think that-
BBWDP? I don't.
No,
What is
because okay, so I use the Fire Stick to I'll be on there trying to find
That's what
something
I
to
call my
watch.
dick.
Hey.
And it'll
Best joke of the night. Shows up.
bro, they got the crazy, they got the Star Wars,
Yeah.
they got the Indiana Jones.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Indiana Bones. Temple of Poon.
Dude,
Well,
oh
there-
my god.
So when I was young, real talk, when I was younger, there was my buddy's older brother had this trilogy of cassette pornography videos. Pornography. What am I fucking? Jesus Christ. Who am I?
Pornography.
Fucking Jesus.
Videos.
What am I? Tipper Gore?
Illicit
Like fucking
smut.
the fucking.
Cut. I don't know how much of our audience is gonna get Tipper Gore.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm showing my age here. It was called Star Whores. And it was Star Whores: Return of the One Eye, and Star Whores, Star Whores: The Empire on its back, and then Star Whores: Return of the One Eye. Those are the name of the three.
And this was on VHS.
Yeah, these were VHS tapes.
He didn't have a new rope.
No, they didn't. It was before all that, man. Before,
Oh, the
yeah,
new
it was
rope.
just called. It was just called
couldn't
Star
think of a
Wars.
good
They
enough
didn't
one.
have. It was like, a new hole or something. I don't know what
The
they would
Phantom
call-
Anus.
Yeah.
I remember instead of the Blair Witch Project, they had the Bear Bitch Project.
Nice.
Oh damn! All right, all right.
That was at Hollywood Video. Like I
Really?
was going. I was
Did you have
like,
to go through
oh,
a beaded curtain?
It was
for
right
that?
there.
you
No
go through,
beaded
like,
curtain.
You go through the western doors. They've they've got the.
Do you guys remember that?
Get a
though?
sarsaparilla.
The
in a-
back room.
Yeah.
Porno.
And why did all VHS, all pornos had like a comically oversized box? It's like a fucking,
It's
like
so
it's like a
huge.
hub, like a fucking hubcap, like you're carrying that like a
Yes.
vinyl. I'm like, why is this so big? It's the same.
Here's your
same-
briefcase.
Because you
Yeah.
need to be shamed.
Right,
the
dude. You're going
streets.
through those western doors at the and then pulling out like a goddamn, frisbee to watch.
And everything, and like if there was like a CD part of the store or a CD store or something like that, it would always be like the room would be like remember those like black light pictures? It
Yeah.
was like the felt.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and those
I
were
remember
just-
Spencer's.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're in the right spot.
Yeah. Although you listen, black light and any place where you jack it are bad combinations.
Horrible.
That's
Never
true.
jerk off. That's yeah.
I bet it's actually fun to watch though. I've never like done the full thing in a black light to like
Oh.
watch it come out like that.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck, I'm gonna go home and eat mushrooms and do that tonight.
that-
I'll blow my
You could
mind.
yeah, do it in slow mo, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, oh god, that'd be fun to film, and then if you could just not ever tell anyone what it was. Like, don't film your dick, just the fucking blowing the load, and then be like, oh, it's art. Yeah,
Under
it
a
is.
black light.
Yeah, they
slow-mo,
could. Yeah, you could. That could be like a powerful YouTube video for
lime
something
green
else that people don't know what it
ectoplasm
is.
coming out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oh man. Well,
can't put that shit in my head. I started. I don't know. I've eaten mushrooms in my house way too many times and done started filming some weird shit.
Oh, of course.
I get some weird ideas for sketches in my head. I start filming some.
So does it help? Do you use it? Like, do you ever use mushrooms to kind of help you bring ideas out, or is it just like an accidental kind of you just taking mushrooms because you're in a weird spot and then all of a sudden
Both probably. I mean, I eat mushrooms a lot. It's my only vice. I don't do anything else. I quit drinking and quit everything else. But like I'll microdose, and then every now and then I'll do a nice little adventure time, a little good adventure.
I like
Nice.
that. I
Yeah.
really love mushrooms,
Yeah,
man. There's-
about a once a month. Yeah,
and so, how's the microdose? Is that like
it's great, man.
And that
It's-
just keeps you.
Well, it's I started getting interested in it because a health podcast. Somebody was talking about this girl was talking about using it. For now, it's very prevalent about treating depression and PTSD,
Yeah.
trauma, things like that. And yeah, I would just take a little, not every day, just every now and then. And it just the way she described it is, it made her notice the flowers again. And I'm like, all right, that's an interesting way to describe it. Like, I
like that.
Yeah, I can dig it. So it was enough to make me want to start trying it. And yeah, just like you're not high at all. You just get a little bit of a like.
So did that kind of make sense? Like what she
yes,
said?
yeah, definitely. And then it, usually kind of those effects will feel for a couple days, and then you do it again, or if you're feeling good. It just depends on how I'm vibing for the month. But
I think it's something cool that people should try. I think that it should be legal everywhere.
Yeah,
because
or normalized at least.
Because
not stigmatized.
Because people don't. You always stigmatize these things. We just don't know what it is. It's like I found a way. At first, it was always just like a fun trip with your friends.
Right. Yeah.
I'd never done it alone.
Oh, really?
I was always kind of just like alone.
Man.
Like
Yeah.
you take it, you go out with your friend, you go in the woods, you go do, whatever. Like, yeah. And then like I took it alone, and it was so crazy how therapeutic and how I was able to like look within and like really conquer like a lot of inner bitch inside myself and like change bad habits and weird things that I don't know. It just really it gives you a lot of clarity.
I feel like it like not to get too like hippie, rubbing some crystals on your third eye chakra here, but like it opens up mental blocks. I think is what it is. It's just like there's mental blocks that are natural defenses our brain puts up to keep us from certain trauma and certain things that like keep us sane, and like we have to put like there's a reason people block out memories.
Yeah,
because otherwise, if our brain had to really face those, we'd lose our goddamn minds. Our brains evolved. That's when humans evolved, we evolved our brains. And that's what keeps us safe. We didn't have claws and fangs and shit like that.
You had to be smart.
Yeah, we had to be smart. And I think it opens those things up, but we're in a headspace where we can deal with them a little bit better and kind of categorize them in ways, because your brain is just a filing system, man. It's just a computer trying to file shit away and figure out how to process things. That's all it is. So if you if you can get in a headspace where you can process those accurately and well, it allows you to go through your day easier and better. You're not, there's not the subconscious thing stuck.
Right. The stigma's weird to where you can have all these other drugs that are pharmaceutical where it's like,
yeah, that's the thing.
But it's like,
that shit fucks you up.
But why do people have to be, why is it? I don't understand why.
Money.
Mushroom.
It's money.
Money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say no more. Oh, yeah, I do understand. I totally get that.
It all makes sense.
Money. Pharmaceutical companies have lots of money, and they give our politicians lots of money.
But I'm just saying, as far as like the average person, I guess back. A lot of people are from a place where information, you had to do a lot of work to get it.
Right.
You had to go get a book. You had to read it. You had to do all these things. But with it's so accessible to us right now, it seems crazy that people would be like, "Oh yeah, mushrooms are bad. It's a bad thing. Like it should just be so. It should be so normalized that this is beneficial for everybody."
People don't want to change their minds on anything that was like set in stone. Like things were set in stone about how bad mushrooms were for you. I remember when I was in whatever grade, and they made us watch this Dare video, and there was that fucking lion, that lion-ass lion.
Yeah,
and this cartoon they make you watch, and this kid smokes weed, and then he goes on like this psychedelic trip and like this, is sucking dick for weed, and I'm like,
they're sucking dick in the Dare video.
Like, this is crazy, and all I could think is, damn, where'd that kid get that weed? I'm like, shit, where's that weed, man? I'm trying to get my hands on that shit.
Yeah.
Like, where,
right?
I was like fourth, fifth grade. I'm like, I smoke weed. That weed I smoke ain't doing that shit.
Weed ain't doing that shit,
Bro,
yeah.
I could try to bring myself back to thinking about what it was like. What did I think when I was in fifth grade and they were talking about weed? I don't think I knew what weed was.
You weren't smoking that young.
I started
I started
dude.
at like 12.
Yeah.
You started at 12?
Yeah, so when I'm seeing these commercials of like the girl talking to her dog, or like the chick that completely melts into the couch, she's like flat on the couch, deflated.
Like, dude,
I'm
you did acid.
Where is that weed at?
Yeah, you
This
smoke
isn't-
PCP.
Yeah, that's some whole next level shit right there.
This is not a weed commercial, man. You
Bro.
guys smoke some PCP.
It wasn't until I saw Friday when I first
Okay,
saw
yeah.
Friday, and then I saw Smokey. I was like, yeah, I want to smoke weed. That looks
that
fun.
was it. That was
Look, Smokey back here taking a shit. Like I could just be walking around the neighborhood, just pulling,
Just hanging out.
throwing zingers at people, just high, of course, walking by, like, hey, Miss Parker, someone hear my phone ring?
Yeah,
like,
that's the life right there.
yeah, that's what And I kind of just fell in love. I know everybody gets their vice, and
Yeah.
weed is definitely 100%.
Yeah.
I love it. And I get it. I get so many people that are just like, dude, it gets me in my thoughts. I'm thinking. It gets weird. I get like, anxiety. It makes it crazy. And, that's where like a lot of people, alcohol is their thing, where it just does the opposite. And you kind of relax and get rid of all that anxiety. And I think mushrooms is just, I haven't heard of any like real negative side effects or like long-term problems with people who microdose and stuff like that.
I don't think there is. I mean, I've had 2 bad trips in my life, but they were probably my fault. I mean, because I just went hard.
Like when you were younger, like young.
One,
Obviously when you were younger.
Sure. One was like within the last 10 years. The other was probably like, Jesus Christ, closer to 20 years ago.
Okay.
God damn, I'm getting old. I gotta grow up and stop doing drugs.
Well, hey, you haven't had a bad trip in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm
so good for you. You're doing good. Let's hear about
You're
it.
growing up. That's 1 out of 2.
Out of all the times I've done mushrooms, that's a good batting ratio actually. But I've always yeah. I mean, I don't think there's bad. I quit drinking 9 months ago. I quit drinking. Probably the best decision in my life. That shit. I mean, like anything in moderation's fine. If I'm not gonna shit. If I got friends still drinking stuff. That's fine. I don't care. You want to get drunk occasionally, go for it, man. I had to stop, and I wasn't even like. It wasn't even the point where it was like ruining my life. Like it wasn't ruining relationships. It wasn't ruining like financially. I just felt like shit. And I was like, I'd be on the road and I'd get worn down, man. Like I remember one of the last times I was on the road for like 3 weeks straight, and it's drive an average of 5 hours a day, load up at the venue, go to the hotel, shitty hotel, come back, do the show, drink all night, go back to the hotel, sleep a couple hours, wake up hungover, drive 5 hours, do the same thing for like 3 weeks straight. And I'm just going, look at my buddy I did, my partner I did comedy with for that time. And I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore, man. I gotta.
So were you like,
was
it something that was like really hard to shake? Like you really loved, like you enjoyed doing it? Or was it pretty easy for you to kind of.
By the end, it was really easy to stop.
Because you drank for what?
Oh, God.
Long time.
I was drinking. I mean, I'm 37 now. First time I got drunk, I was like 9 years old, but I started drinking consistently by the time I was like 12, 13.
Wow.
And it was
like just getting fucked up with your friends. And just stuff like that. Yeah.
So I mean, you're talking what, 25 years of just and. So it was easy. It was easy to quit. So I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. It wasn't having fun. Like, it was just felt like more of a chore and something I had to do. And that's always the way I was with drugs and alcohol. And like I used to smoke cigarettes and stuff. But when I felt like I had to do it, that's when I'm like, I don't want to feel like I have to do anything.
Right. Did you ever try to do like sober October or anything before that?
I quit for periods of time before, so I knew I could. The only thing I miss still is I was a big craft beer guy, and I miss like tasting good beers.
Yeah.
It's not even the getting drunk. It's like I would just like to taste like the taste of a good porter, like
For sure.
or something like that. But
And is it just hard to keep in moderation, or you just have to make that decision to quit because you like go all in or not at all kind of thing? Or
you know what? So realistically, what happened is I decided I was going to quit, and I mentioned it to another comedy friend of mine, and he said he wanted to quit with me, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to quit too." And he had a big alcohol problem, and so we kind of put this arbitrary date we were going to quit. So like a couple months down the road, like we'll have some party time in the summer and blah, blah. And then we'll have like half summer to patios and summer beach, and then we'll quit. Well, the next weekend he checked himself into rehab. So I was like, all right, well, we said we're going to quit together. You bumped up our timeline. We're in this together. I quit. I'm not going to wait a couple months.
Nice.
And then my cousin who does comedy also, I was talking to her about telling her I was going to quit. She's like, I want to quit with you. And I'm like, all right. And another comic quit too. So 4 of us all kind of quit at the same time. And it. I think I could realistically. I think I could drink again. Drink in moderation, be fine. But I would feel like I was letting them down, and I feel like some of them need it to be sober, like really to save their lives. Even unfortunately, one of them was a friend of mine who you were at the show, Tony Russell, who took his life a couple weeks ago. So that was like it. Didn't shit, man. He took him, got him. So
even with the support, I mean, just yeah.
So I mean,
so it means a lot more to just keep the, the culture.
Right.
It sounds fun, honestly. Like it's like everybody quitting together. It's like the support system.
Yeah,
like,
it was. I mean, I get a lot more done. I started basically, I'm like, man, I got like a 401k retirement fund just from not drinking. Like the money I saved, like I had no idea I was spending this much goddamn money and getting drunk every month.
Especially as a comic, I'm sure, like you were saying, when you're on the road, when you're on the road, you're number one. It's just way different. You don't you're not, your house isn't.
Well, you're eating, you're drinking different, you're drinking different. You're trying to it's a crazy. That when I started getting on the road regularly, that's when it hit me of like, man, how long am I going to last doing this? This is like, I like it, but man, it will fucking, I mean, again, I am pushing 40. It's wear
exhausting.
You down.
So like how many shows do you have, like how long are you gone? Like how many, it just seems crazy.
Now I kind of had like a mental breakdown a couple months ago, and I reeled it in. I stopped doing anything for a couple months, really, barely anything, and it was just
taking a break and chill. Yeah.
And I was when my old partner Michael Glassmeyer was in town, and we were doing our nearly famous comedy tours. We'd be gone for weeks at a time.
He does the music, right?
Yeah,
dude. He's
so actually, he's gonna be back next week. We got our week of shows we're doing together. Actually, he's back tomorrow, and then next week we've got shows all week we're doing around.
That one where you were just. I know you're going off. You were talking about something, but when you were staring off into the lake, and you're very sad.
We said we were quitting each. Yeah, we were quitting.
And then he comes up and he's like, "Why are you sad?" And then you tell him, you're like, "Oh, well, you're moving away," and then he takes his glasses off.
That we played some Sarah McLachlan.
That was great.
I will remember.
It was so good. Honestly, I was like, God damn, and then he was just like, yeah, we got shows in February.
Yeah.
I think that was like October or something, right?
Yeah,
I was watching
that was October, November.
and I'm like, oh shit, it is February now. Holy shit, they got a show coming up.
Yeah, he's back, and we got shows all over in Washington. We got like a week of shows, so something in Idaho too somewhere. But I mean, we'd be gone for weeks at a time sometimes, and it got to the point where it was wearing me out. Like now I'm a little smarter on where I'll take gigs, what I'll take.
Well, and then not drinking too, obviously.
Makes it easier. I sleep better, eat better, but I try to touch home more regularly. I don't like to be gone for weeks at a time. Like I don't like to be gone. I mean, it's like 7 days, sometimes 9. Ideally, I'd be like 5, and then at least be home for a day or two, and then back on the road. It's just kind of, you can't always. You got to go where the money is, but at the same time, I produce most of my own shows, so I can kind of set up my. Yeah,
you control a little bit more, and so you got to do some shows in some of these like smaller Idaho towns, and some of these like where else, like Montana, stuff like that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about some of the. I'm just curious to hear about some of these unique situations.
Do you want the good or the bad?
The bad.
Oh. Well,
I mean, we can get with the good. We can, we can hit the good later. I like to hear the grimy.
The worst. So this is the worst and funny worst show I ever did was actually in Colville, Washington.
Oh wow!
And a little place called Burdick's. You guys have probably heard of it. A lot of hip hop shows go on there.
Okay.
So we get. Oh, you probably heard this story when you were at the show on Monday night. If you heard me go up, but this was a show. This black dude named Ryan Reeves books us to do this show, and I say he's a black guy because that pertains to the story later. I'm not saying it just to point out that I know a black guy. and I'd never met Ryan at this point. This is the first time. He just booked me on this show. And we go up to Colville, and my buddy Tony and I on the way up there, we get there, and we go to the bar, and it's a crowded bar. First, Tony's gregarious. He wants to talk to everyone. And, Tony's Korean. I'm Mexican. We're walking around. And Tony walks to the guys, goes, "Hey, you guys here for the comedy show?" And the guy looks at him straight in the eye and just gives him the fucking Heil Hitler, and just stares at us and then walks away. And Tony's like, "All right, so it's going to be that kind of night. All right, that's..." And,
my God.
So then these guys are just pacing around us all night. And then our buddy Steve gets there, who's typical white guy from Spokane, quite unremarkable. And he's another comic. But we didn't find out till later that he had just found out his girlfriend was pregnant. So he's shitting himself, thinking he's going to die in a hate crime that night. He's like, "Man, I'm white. I don't even deserve this." And we then Ryan shows up. Again, black dude from LA, looks like a black dude from LA. Think of a black dude from LA. This is Ryan, all right? I like Ryan, he's a friend of mine. But now after I met him, we hang out. I love the guy, but him in Colville, Washington, it was record, scratch, stop, skip. The whole bar looks over, and then there's these white supremacist guys in the back playing pool with their pool sticks, just pacing like they want to just beat the shit out of us. Tony goes up to start the show, and he walks up and he's like, "Hey guys, welcome to the show." He's like, "Hey, so Colville," he's like, "So give it up for white people, right?" And just starts clapping his hands like, "Yeah, white people."
Oh my God.
and Ryan is oblivious. Steve is shitting his pants, and I am dying. I'm laughing my fucking ass off. I'm like, this is hilarious to me. We had to block the stage several times from these white supremacist guys trying to rush the stage and wanting to fight us. And these two Alaskan fishermen dudes, big old drinks of water, man, with pistols on their side, decided they liked us and wanted "Well, you're with us tonight." I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah, wow.
I need some white people on my side in Colville, Washington.
You never know what you're gonna get into.
So interesting fact about Burdicks.
Yeah.
I had to Google Colville, Washington Burdicks, and I just wanted to see the place. So I went to images.
Yeah.
Every single image for Burdicks, Colville, Washington, when you search on Google, is a flyer for a rap show.
Yeah.
Every single picture is just a flyer for a different rap show, with the one exception being late night comedy hosted by Ryan Reeves.
Am I on the poster?
Deece Casillas, Steve Johnson, and Greg Bleacher.
Yeah, Greg wasn't on the shows. Tony replaced Greg. Greg couldn't go. We would have been fucked if we had two black people.
Wow, bro, that's just right up the road. I feel like.
How
How far
see
is that?
where what the bar looks like.
The funny thing is
ridiculous.
So we're sitting at a table. I'm sitting with Ryan after the show, drinking, talking to this dude who's in Colville, lives in Colville. And the next weekend, there's flyers on the table for Afro Man is at this place. I'm like, how the mighty have fallen. How am I fucking at a bar that Afro Man is playing next week? I don't know if that's good for me or bad for him. Maybe somewhere in the middle. And this dude picks up the flyer of Afro Man, who is a bigger, rotund black dude, dark-skinned black dude with an afro, right? We all know who Afro Man looks like. Ryan Reeves is 5'6", skinny, little light-skinned black guy. This dude from Colville looks at Afro Man, looks at Ryan, looks at he goes, "Is this you?" I'm like, God damn, they really all look alike to you here, don't they? Fuck you.
Man, and Colville's what, 45 minutes away?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, we're in the There's a lot of craziness all around us in Spokane.
It's
some craziness.
It gets
man.
out in the sticks real quick. Even I did a show in Vaughan, Washington, which is just about 20 minutes west of Tacoma. It's out on the peninsula, right?
Oh, okay.
In the very south of the Sound on the west side of the state. And I'm like, I forgot you even go 20 minutes outside of Tacoma and you are in the sticks. You get outside of the city even a little bit and you forget how quickly it turns into fucking Deliverance. Just real scary, real fast.
It's
I'm like,
nuts.
yeah. I mean, because people think,
It's weird because you're like, the city's right there.
Yeah, yeah. You better get your ass back there fast.
Yeah.
It gets weird real fast.
Bro, because I'd want to live in the country, dude. Like, just for the fact that, like, I feel like everybody would, right? Like, everybody wants, like, their own shit.
Yeah.
With not, like, everybody around trying to get into your shit,
Yeah,
right?
I want
Like,
to
everybody
grow my
just wants-
mushrooms and shoot a bear.
Yeah, just
I'm trying to
one
do some wild
house,
shit.
5 acres. Like, if all of us could have that and be probably, like, 15 minutes, 10 minutes from town,
Yeah.
that's what we all want. But it's like,
It
we
gets-
wouldn't be assles.
No, well, yeah, man.
So we have to
it's-
stay in the city where all the sane people are.
Yeah,
It seems,
progressive, open-minded people.
Yeah.
You try, it gets real closed-minded.
and it's
Like,
not
real
everybody,
quick.
and it's not everybody, but there's definitely, like, those people are, it's weird, man. You talk to people that are just, I mean,
I sat at a bar, got some food for the show in Vaughan, and the people coming in and out of there, I'm like, damn, this is a little ass town. This seems like very hodunk. And there's this guy talking to this girl at the bar, and he's like, older guy, probably 60 or so. He's like, yeah, I do. I'm an electrician. I'm an electrician. I do some plumbing. Look, I do that because I'm a guy. You couldn't do that because you're a lady, but you could be my secretary or something like that if you needed new. And I'm like, dude, this guy is stuck in a world of like this, like Mad Men, like in the 1950s. This girl's your secretary. Like, I mean, it is not to sound cliche, but it's 2020. There's some girls, doing some crazy shit out there. They're like, they're doing anything anyone else is doing. Ronda Rousey's was beating the shit out of people. You have, what's her name, Amanda Nunes.
she's beating the
She's
shit
beating the
out.
shit out of people, man. That's you want to tell her she can be your secretary? Go fuck yourself.
So
No.
listen, toots.
Yeah, tell Amanda Nunes you can be my secretary, little lady. If
I
you're
work
lucky.
with the wires because
Yeah.
I
I
got a
love
big
that.
brain.
I love
file
that,
the
man.
paperwork.
I love seeing, like, that stereotype broken. People are like, oh, even in the UFC or something like that, people are like, oh man, it's a couple girls fighting. Like, oh, like it's gonna be a boring fight.
Yeah.
And then you just see, wow, you just see a chicken
Dude.
knocked out. You're like, oh,
Yeah, man.
whoa.
Yeah, that stuff is wild.
tough, bro.
I used to, I was a boxer growing up. I did kickboxing, MMA, and stuff like that. I used to train people, and I used to actually put on fights. And one of my, I used to produce MMA fights here in Spokane, even. And
Not in a comedic way.
no, like real legit. Yeah, I
Like
mean,
Bruce Buffer.
yeah, they were. We had. I mean, they were amateur fights, but they were people who have. I mean, we've worked with a bunch, and we had people from all over different states coming and competing and stuff. And there was,
Nice.
I always said, man, the girl fights were the best because those bitches would not quit. They were angry and trying to prove something.
Really?
And they were proving it, man. We had this kickboxing fight where these girls, I've never seen so much blood in the ring afterwards. I mean, both their faces just.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, sometimes I think it's good. I think there's some people in this world who just need to get that fucking aggression out, man. And they want to get it out on each other. And they're
Hey,
trying to fucking get a
whatever you gotta
gold,
do, man.
a
I'm not
little
here to-
gold belt or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That, it's crazy and really cool how that has become, like this is a sport.
Right.
These people, not battling to the death. Because
I'm for that too. If you want to go to death, let's take it, man.
what about that? What about like prisoners?
I'm
Like
for
doing
it.
the
Death
like,
row inmates.
Yeah,
just,
you knock off like half your sentence.
but
if
then
you
we're
win.
sick. We're sick.
Yeah.
For wanting to watch that. Oh, you want to watch people
don't know,
die? You
man.
sick fuck.
I didn't say I want to. I didn't say I wouldn't.
Right.
But I mean,
It's not my first choice, but
I'm
you tell me
saying-
at the Spokane Arena, it's
Yeah.
going to be fucking
But for
death
them-
If I
fight.
happen to get a pair of tickets gifted to me, maybe I'll go.
oh, man.
I heard there was going to be a lion. I'm going.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if I would pay to see people wrestle animals like a bear or a gorilla.
Some
I'd
revenant
fi-
shit.
I'd pay
Alligator.
to see a dude fight a chimp. Chimps are fucking. That's cool.
Gorilla
Gorilla
for sure.
would kill a man. A chimp.
Chimp.
A chimp
Be
is
kind of a fair
still.
fight, at
Those
least.
things are like
Like, what do you think if it was like a gorilla versus like The Rock?
The Rock would be die. Gorillas are insane, man. Have you?
Is there a man? Is there a man that could take a
I don't know
gorilla?
if there's a
I don't
man
think
that
The
could take
Rock
a
could
gorilla.
take a chimp.
No.
Dude, chimps they're so strong and like wily and
The Rock
Yeah.
is he's
Dude.
a massive person.
well the crazy thing is too though is they because it's just instinct. They go for like the fingers, your eyeballs, and your genitals first. Is what chimps
they'll
do.
rip your shit off.
Yeah.
And just like jab your eyes out. And rip it
Because
out.
it's all nature of like I know how to disable you so I can kill. Like I'm not
They're
gonna.
like, this isn't a sport.
Yeah, like
No.
he's not gonna duck and weave like bob and weave on this shit, fucking rope a dope or
pop
something.
your fucking
There's
eyeballs
there's
out.
no chimp like fucking setting
Oh,
up a
shit.
jab and then like that. He's just going straight for your fucking eyeballs,
my
ripping that shit out,
God.
eating them. and
So
then-
you're immediately defending.
yeah,
You're grabbing fucking hands and fucking shit.
yeah. You just
Okay.
You'd have to wear if you could wear a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like a cod piece with an American flag on it because you're patriot,
Of course.
and like a helmet, like a Depeche Mode helmet, or what is that? Devo? What's the band?
I was thinking Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. That's it. Depeche Mode. That's a way different.
Depeche Mode.
I didn't know what that
Daft
was.
Punk.
You're wearing a Devo
Yeah.
hat.
yeah. Just Daft Punk helmet, and
Yeah.
like a Captain America cod piece, and some gloves so your fingers weren't exposed. Maybe. He's still Maybe.
sticking his finger in your ass,
because-
though.
Just for the simple fact that your fingers would come off, blood would you would be.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally.
Just fucking, or like, I mean, they can rip your fingers off you.
How big is it? We're talking about a chimpanzee.
A chimp?
A chimp is probably like, I
like
don't
a
know,
very
4 feet,
small
3,
person.
4 feet.
But very
maybe
strong? Stronger than The Rock?
Dude, they're strong. I've held like baby chimps, and like if they start like messing with you and hitting you, like even a baby chimp.
Yeah. Chimps are between 88 and 130 pounds, depending on.
That's a person, man. There's dudes that fight.
Wait, how much they weigh?
They weigh between 88 and 130 pounds.
Yeah, 130-pound chimp.
Dude, like Mighty Mouse, like the fighter in the MMA, he's like 130 pounds, dude. You put now if he has 3 times, and they're just you've seen they're jacked, dude. They're all muscle. All they do is like fucking P90X and eat. Just
Wait,
whop.
are we talking about chimpanzees?
Yeah.
Dude, those things are
Chimpanzees
just
have
Do
been shown to,
P90X?
yeah, of course,
jacked.
bro.
Yeah, man, they're dude.
Chimpanzees have been shown to be about 4 times as strong as humans, comparable in size.
Oh, 4 times as strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
the
the
Rock
difference-
is not human.
The difference in
That's-
strength lies in the muscle performance, it says. They're running on peak efficiency, man.
Yeah,
Got that monkey strength.
dude, it's just all the time.
So how do you learn that?
I think we
So, like, fuck-
evolved out. We opted out of
Yeah,
that.
bro.
We
Like,
had
fuck-
that. We opted out, man.
Fuck jujitsu. Like, why are you guys teaching this? Just rip someone's fucking dick off and rip their eyes out and pull their
Krav
fucking
Maga.
fingers
What
off?
style do you fight? Mowgli.
Yeah. Like, what exercises do I need to do?
Shit.
Fuck a bicep curl. Like,
Yeah,
what are these
man.
guys? These apes, like whatever they're doing.
Swinging from branches and shit.
Yes, we got to do.
Fight other apes.
You want to? So American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, man. Those guys are. Yeah, that's probably the closest.
Maybe that's it, bro. And
You
new
gotta-
techniques.
Yeah.
Go for the eyes. Go for the nose. Go for
What's
the.
Krav Maga? That's Krav Maga right there.
Is that what that is?
Krav Maga is like the efficiency. It's a you know Krav. It's an Israeli.
I don't know anything
It's
about
an
it.
Israeli. It's what
I've
they
heard of
teach
it.
the Israeli special forces. So and everyone who's in Israel has to be in the military for. I think they have to do like 2 or 3 years of service in the military.
Just men?
Yeah, mandatory. Women too. They have like a whole special unit of these female Israeli tactical unit that are just murderers, dude.
Really?
Straight up crazy. Yeah, I forget what it's called. But they teach them Krav Maga, which is all about the most damage, the most efficient, like throat gouges, eye gouges, like fucking kick to the genitals, like fucking elbows to the trachea.
Like just disabling them.
Yeah,
immediately.
just quickly and efficiently. None of this.
But is this not? I mean, it's just probably a different form of what we already do. I mean, is that not what everybody's trying to do?
Well, they specifically instinctually teach you to go for the quickest and most efficient way of taking someone out instead of like how to throw hands or kickbox
Or
or
wrestle
like
somebody,
put someone in a rear naked choke. It's like, no, you don't have to choke someone when you fucking gouge their trachea out with 2 fingers. You know, like you know,
Scoop.
yeah, dude, they're down. They're done after that.
Wow, man. And the thing is, too, there's a lot of circumstances where, if you don't see it coming,
Yeah,
oof.
That's
They
right.
could get you right in the
Dude,
eyeball.
yeah, ninja.
And what are you going to do?
Bro.
Because now you're trying to fight somebody you're going through trauma of
Yeah.
an eye.
Right.
You've never had an eye scooped out in your life.
This shit-
and now you're trying to deal
It's
with
like
it.
ninja. It's like Israeli ninjas.
This
It's
shit
like,
is
it's like
crazy.
ninju.
Students
Ninja.
are taught
Ninjutsu.
Students are taught to counter in the quickest and most efficient way possible. Ideas in Krav Maga include simultaneous attack and defense, continuing to strike the opponent until they're completely incapacitated, attacking preemptively or counterattacking
Yeah.
as soon as possible, and using any objects at hand that could be used to hit
Yeah,
an
man.
opponent.
Oh, so like it's not a fair fight.
No, they just go for it. Dude.
It's
There's no-
expeditious.
yeah.
Krav Maga. I thought that was the one you did in your living room.
No, you're talking CrossFit or
Yeah, or like Tai Bo.
Yeah, Tai Bo, like,
Yeah, right. They say most of the Krav Maga that's taught is watered down because
Yeah.
it's not as hardcore as the Israeli military.
Yeah, the
But-
Israeli military is, whew, man, those
Damn.
motherfuckers are intense.
That's scary, dude. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're I don't know. I think you need more people that know badass stuff, though. You know, that way people aren't so comfortable trying to like attack somebody in a
Yeah.
alley or something like that. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, yeah, she's small and she looks like you could maybe sneak up on her, but she'll rip
Right.
your fucking dick off, poking the fucking eyes, dude.
Everyone should take a jujitsu class and an improv class, and then your life will be better.
Okay, those two things together, because you can beat someone's ass, but you know you could probably diffuse the situation
Yeah,
with comedy
that's
first
right, or make them laugh while you're doing it. The,
at the same time. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy because comedy's not just this thing that it used to be, where it was just knock jokes and
Yeah.
fucking, you know. I mean, I guess there's always been observational comedy and different things like that, but I think that it's really evolved, especially right now with the YouTube and you know
oh, guys,
you're doing everything yourself, sketches
Yeah.
and I mean,
you have to do everything when you go. Like there's these big comedy festivals, like Seattle International Comedy Competition is one of the bigger ones every year. San Francisco is all these ones. When you go there, if you get in, and if you know, once you get into this doing the rounds, the agents, if there's like TV people or agents go to them, those are the good festivals. They ask you, they don't really care about your jokes as much. Like, hey, how many Twitter followers do you have? Let me see your Twitter account. You know, they want to know people are following you. They want a brand that that's already put together that
they can just absorb
They
and
can just kind of put out there. So you already have to have some sort of platform and base, and then you have to be marketable and you have to have a story. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. That is, I tell people all the time, it's part of the reason I started leaning more heavily into the agnostic, atheists, Latino, that type of material in my comedy, because it's an angle. If you're just a dude, like, I feel bad for any straight, white, heterosexual, middle-aged family man in comedy. Those guys are fucked.
Got nothing going
Dude,
on.
nobody gives a shit about those guys right now, and it's unfortunate because a lot of those guys are really funny, but comedy is kind of going away from being a meritocracy, where it's like whoever's funniest, dude, just whoever's funniest, put them on stage. It's like, well, we really want to have, you know, we need an Asian person or a female on, or
it's like sometimes you get the weird, like the Jim Gaffigan. Like I guess he's been famous for like a long time.
Yes, there's people who are grandfathered in, but
you're
new
right, as
people
far as new
coming
people,
up,
yeah.
that demographic is fucked, and I feel
Damn,
so bad
that's
for
crazy.
them, because I know some of the funniest dudes who are that's just who they are, and it's like, sorry, man, like you're gonna go nowhere. There's a million of you, you know, and it's I'm gonna get shit for saying this, but like a lot of female comics get pushed up really quickly because there's not as many of them, and people want a female on the show, and they get pushed up when they're not necessarily ready yet, or they get pushed up faster than people like a counterpart, like a guy who may be funnier. And I mean, I produce a lot of shows. I'd like to put diversity on a show. I strive to, but also I want to put the best.
You
together
go
the best
comedy
show.
first.
If the best show I can put together is I put together shows with all girls because it's the best show I can put together. I don't give a fuck what you are. I just want the funniest whatever is on that show that I can get on that show.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. I don't think like
That's equality.
yeah, that's equality. When see, I don't want to think about your race, religion, sexuality, color, gender. Positive. I don't want it to bring positive or negative energy to what it is. I want
It's just a
strictly on
neutral-
what you are. Like, it shouldn't be anything in it. If you put any,
and people need to stop fucking. You know, I mean, you gotta stop. You gotta let people. You gotta let it be that.
Yeah.
If in all facets of life,
Right.
If we're gonna get over racism and shit like that, like people gotta just and sexism and all that shit, like these old things that it's like this is the way it was. It's like we're in a different time, and you're right. Like I feel like we're moving in a direction where it's much more, you know, people having the equality and the equal opportunity to get in and I mean really make a YouTube video yourself doing comedy, doing little skits, making fun of things, going to your local comedy club, like you know, everything. There's going to be little changes,
I think it's coming around. We kind of had a big swing towards this super, like, I think it's swinging back. We overcorrected really hard, and there's still the social justice warriors and people getting offended over stupid shit and people wanting to find a reason to be mad about things. And but I think it's swinging back a little bit. You know, obviously the other way was, you know, the way it was. You know, I'm not trying to get back to like the 50s or some shit, but there's a middle ground where people, you know, there's not as much energy around it, you know. I mean, like I said, I don't want to think about what someone is that be a factor on, because I mean, it was trendy for a long time for like people to shit on like being like a white male, and like, dude, like that's not even how I identify, but I felt bad for those people. I'm like, dude, like that's a terrible thing. Why is that? Like, yeah. There were some really shitty white males in America for a long time. But also, like, that doesn't mean the ones that currently exist here and live in the now should be paying for what people did before. I'm like I'm Mexican. Like, should I hate Spanish people? Like, my grandmother's roots are Mayan. Like, should I hate Spanish people because they raped my grandma's culture and destroyed? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, no one's doing anything to me. Like, I don't know.
And you live in this world right now where you know that this person is just a person, man.
Yeah.
And they're also 37 and they've gone through similar shit that I've gone through.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it doesn't fucking matter, man. It's on your character and who you are and shit. And we just got to get, you know, I just think that having social media and things like that is cool. Is people can give a voice out there and say, hey, this is bullshit. Don't do that. And
but God forbid they pull a tweet from when you were 27.
Oh God, yeah, no shit. Well, that's, dude.
You got to delete your fucking tweets. What are you doing,
See,
dude?
I
You can
put all
delete
my
your tweets.
That's my thing. I put out
Shit, if you go back to 2000, Twitter was started in 2012.
Yeah, you could still say retard back then.
Yeah,
you can't say that now.
I get memories from Facebook in 2012, and I'm like, oh
yeah, like damn.
But it's different because like on
I was
TV,
wild in 2012.
I swear you can say shit on TV now. Is that wrong?
You can.
You always could have. It's just cable networks chose not to. You can't do it on network, but cable can get away with whatever they want to. They just choose not to because they want advertisers.
Yeah.
But they say shit now.
Yeah,
right?
they say shit now.
Well, remember that South Park episode where they did the counter?
They counted all the shit.
Yeah, they counted how many times they said it in one episode. It was that was, I mean, probably 12, 13 years ago now.
Really?
I bet it was that long ago. And that was like
changed.
groundbreaking at the time.
Fuck is the new one they're getting away with more now. Like if you're watching TV after 10 o'clock, a lot of times you'll get fucked.
On like a 246.
No, never on a 246.
But okay, just on
like
a
your Comedy Central,
Comedy
and
Central
stuff like
sci-fi
that.
and stuff.
Oh yeah. So that's good because that wasn't a thing. I felt like they were getting by with like bull crap and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Or editing
Watered
it out.
down.
TV.
Editing it out. Yeah, there's a lot of edits.
It's weird how we do our shit over here. TV, like in the UK, after 9 p.m. they can do whatever they want because the kids are in bed. It's just as soon as 9 p.m. hits, like all the late night shows can swear, do whatever the fuck they want. Over here, we'll show, murders and bloody bodies and all kinds of crazy shit, but won't say the F word.
Say
don't show a titty.
Dude, yeah, you gotta you could show like some dude getting his brains blown out or some like weird horrific scene like that on like CSI, but then you go over to Survivor and some supermodel is climbing a cargo rope and like an inch of her butt crack is hanging out of her bikini. They got to tile it out. You're like, what fucking world are we living in, man?
It's crazy. I read a thing about that show Hannibal.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of bodies hanging on hooks, and you could see their butts.
Yeah,
He
okay.
had like naked bodies hanging on hooks in the shot, and they were like, no, you can't show 3 naked butts hanging there on TV. So
you could show 2.
They filled the ass cracks with blood.
Jesus
and
Christ.
NBC was like, yeah, great,
All right, that's
great.
fine.
You covered up the butt cracks with blood.
Wow.
It's some weird.
That's just
The crazy thing to me is that like these are self-imposed rules. It's not
weird.
like some weird alien overlord came down
No.
and dictated that this is
Fuck
this
is a bad
weird
word.
line of rules that we all like. All right, well that's what Zoltan said, so that's just what we
Zoltan,
do.
dude.
Like we decide, and there's no. Well, it's like we were talking about earlier with the Super Bowl. Everyone gets pissed. You're like, oh, this is the Shakira and J-Lo just rocking it up there. And everyone's like, this isn't family friendly. It's like, okay, first of all, take some responsibility. Turn the fucking channel if you don't want your kids to see it. Second of all, if you think TV or the NFL should like be a line on, or like be the line on what is decent in America, or like teach your kids decency, you're a fucking bad parent already, man. Get your shit together. Make a decision in your life. Like decide to not like how about you teach your kids decency?
Well,
But then I wouldn't get to watch it.
yeah, right.
It's like, what other world do we live in that we understand that there's these things that are bad in life that you're shielding yourself from or your
Right.
family from anyway? And
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy to think that somebody else needs to do that for you.
Yeah, if you don't like it, take some responsibility and just don't watch it. Don't look at it. Don't see that show or don't whatever. And you know, if it starts, it's J-Lo and Shakira. What do you think they're gonna do? That's what they do. They're hot,
Yeah.
and they sing songs about being hot.
I don't
and
get it either, because you're like, are you afraid that your son is going to just be heterosexual?
Yeah.
Like he's just going to like want to grow up and want a girl like that? Like what is,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
What? Yeah. What? There's. I mean,
Where are we at? Like, is he going to, like, are you afraid that he's going to, you know, maybe come in his pants or something? Like, before
you're gonna have to
dinner?
actually have a conversation with your kid, and that's terrifying to be like, oh, gross. Talk to my kids.
So that's it. Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the communication. I
Yeah.
get that being a parent is probably tough. And when your kids get into a weird age,
Yeah.
having to have conversations can probably be like, it's way easier to just not have it.
Sure.
But fuck, you gotta have those conversations, because the more real you are with your kids and your kids understand you and respect you, I feel like you're going to be able to actually teach your kid things rather than them being like, yeah, whatever.
Well, if you just hide it and don't talk about it and let them explore, and then they're going to find it, they're going to get into trouble about it, and then you get mad at them instead of like just talking about it and being open. Like like I remember growing up, well, you know, my parents were never around, didn't do anything. They didn't do, they didn't do shit. So like my buddy's mom was like my mom growing up. It's like she was a single mom, had a couple kids, rough life. And she was like open with us. She would talk to us and we could talk to her about anything. And, you know, she and I felt like super, if I had issues or something related to sex or drugs or drinking or anything like that, like we could talk to her, and she trusted us enough and we trusted her enough, and she knew we were going to fuck up, but you know, she also didn't rather be there to talk about and figure it out than like hide it and it be more of a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's not like she didn't like buy us fucking drugs, but she knew it was going to happen, you know, and it's like,
And I feel like I learned from those people as a kid, because I had those people in my life who were like, hey, listen, this is what it is. Be safe tonight. Do this, do that. And, you know, that stuff stuck with me more than just like somebody that's, people were like, I come from a family where like, it was like locked down. Like they'd lock it all down, no friends, and and you just like, I'm fucking out of here. And you dip. And it's just.
well, like it was like, if you're going to drink, call me. You know, if you get drunk, call me. If, you know, things like that instead of, or like there's that like cool dad or cool mom was like well, you guys, I'd rather have you drink here than go out and drink. And like, that was like a weird stigma, when I was growing up, that parent was a shitty parent. But now I look back, I'm like, I think that was the way more responsible parent.
Way
Like
more
they were
responsible
like,
parent.
like they were like, hey, at least you're here. If
I know you're
something
safe.
I
That's
know
all
you're
good.
safe.
Well, and I think the thing is that it's not like they're like, hey, kids, have you ever tried alcohol?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Right.
do it
Right.
here
That's-
tonight.
yeah,
It's gonna
that's-
be safe.
Not
Right.
enabling. Just
Right.
Yeah, you're just like, you guys are. I know what you're doing already.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
make
you're gonna
it.
go drink in fucking David's car in front of the fucking elementary school.
Right.
We would do so much drinking and shit at
Oh, yeah.
elementary school.
Of course.
Like after dark.
Yeah.
It just was like the safest
For
place.
some reason,
Snuck
it
out
just
to a
felt
park
comfortable.
or-
There's
yeah,
a,
of course.
there was a bath. Yeah, it was like,
40 ounce on a swing set. It's
Yeah,
just,
man, hey.
it's the dream.
bro, it was just, we never
But
got.
it goes back to that, not giving an inch and them taking a mile and stuff like that. It's like if you hide all that shit and keep it on lockdown, it's like you're talking about the DARE program. So
Yeah.
much of that is just lies anyways. When I find out the DARE program's lying to me about weed and weed's not that big of a deal, I'm inclined to think all the other shit you told
Right.
me was a big deal is not a big deal either.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have, parental figures or people in your life lying to you, keeping shit from you, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And, you find out, oh, it's not that bad, and you kind of go a little extra. So,
Well-
yeah.
Well, it's like I always look at countries that are smarter than us, like European countries and
Most of
stuff. Most countries, but like Sweden and like Norway and these countries that don't stigmatize these things. Like they
Yeah.
don't stigmatize drugs and alcohol, and kids at a young age will like drink wine at dinner.
Yeah.
Just and crazy. Countries like Norway don't have a huge drug or alcohol problem.
No.
They don't stigmatize food, and the way their eating habits are different. So like weird, like there's not a big obesity issue.
Yeah,
there.
portion sizes
Yeah.
are much smaller. I know that.
So they just regulate. They normalize it. Anytime you put like energy around anything, kids want to push back and have more of it. That's just natural. So if you
Yeah.
kind of just have it, hey, this is just normal, it's around, it's not taboo. And they're like, all right, well, I guess it's just a part of life. And, some kids will do it a little more than others, but for the most part, it just becomes a normal thing. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so, but America is fucking idiots, and we can't get our shit together with that.
It's so tough. It's we're stuck in these just like archaic frameworks that I don't know, man. It goes. Everyone else uses the metric system. We couldn't figure our shit
Right.
out. Stuff like that. Like just dumb shit that we're holding on to. 'Cause
Yeah.
fuck you.
That's what we did. We're America. We're the good.
Yeah.
Well,
But you involve religion, and of course, kids can go up and drink wine at communion.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Just a sip
yeah.
on Easter, Billy.
All right.
You
And the
know.
priests fuck them afterwards.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Go Catholics.
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up Catholic.
It's
It's a
I
sore
just came
spot
into some
for me.
fucking right now.
Yeah.
No, I just came into
Not
some,
the good kind.
Yeah, not the good kind.
Oh, wow.
Couple of Hail Marys.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, America's that's all right. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna start in Spokane because I'm running for mayor in Spokane. So we're gonna change that.
Vote for Deece.
Yeah, I
Deece.
saw that.
2023, I'm running.
2023.
That's the next election. I'm
Are
starting.
you really going to do it?
I am. Yeah, I really am. I'm ramping up. I've already filled out the paperwork. And I've
a big
got
announcement.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do it. I think I can win. Listen, worst case scenario, it's a great publicity stunt.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It gets me all sorts of press.
In local
true.
news.
Yeah, undeserved
Local
press.
idiot.
Yeah.
What are you about to change? You're about to change the city. Undeserved.
Yeah.
Undeserved.
My
What kind of thing? What are you going to do for the people?
Man of the
here?
people, bro.
I
Yeah.
got I do have my first of all, I'm gonna run my campaign based on transparency. Like I'd say I would do a podcast once a week, social hour every Wednesday on deececomedy.com. Check it out. Where I say crazy shit. I've said the worst shit a man can say for the last 5 years, once a week, and then I broadcast it to the world. You can look at my Twitter, you can look at my Facebook. I have a calendar that tells you where I'll be and what time saying horrible things on stage. Fucking come find me, okay? I do not hold my opinions back. Transparency. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you, pretend I'm the best person in the world, but I've been through some shit. I'm not the worst person. I'll at least be honest with you. All these other fucking people are lying ass criminals that are going to tell you, make you hear what you want to hear just so you'll vote for them, but they don't give a shit and they're not that person. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run a smear campaign on myself. Get ahead of the curve, okay?
Get it all out.
Yeah, get it all out there. I'll be like, it'll be me in the woods, right? Like I'll be in the woods. Not the scary woods, like the good woods. It's bright. There's
The good woods.
yeah, and
Peaceful woods.
and I'm holding a baby, maybe feeding a baby. The logistics are weird. Don't ask a lot of questions. I'm like suckling a baby, and I'm like
Suckling.
and then I'll look over at the camera like, oh hi, I didn't see you there, and then I'll lift the baby up, and a bald eagle, American flag colors, obviously, patriot, swoops down, picks up the eagle gently, or picks up the baby gently, gentle talons, swoops it off.
Gentle talents.
And I'll go, hi, I'm Deece Casillas, future mayor of Spokane. And I would like, and in this campaign, there's a lot of candidates running, but would you vote for someone who said this? And then I'd point at a air bubble that we would, put in post.
Added in post.
And it would say me. It'd be a quote of something horrible, and then that I said. And then it would be paid for by the people against Deece Casillas to vote Deece
Which would be
Casillas for
you
yeah.
paying for your own fucking demise.
So,
Can I suggest the Virgin Mary abortion?
Is that one? Yeah, that's a good
comment?
one. Okay, that's a good one. I'll start with that one.
That's a good start.
Get it all on the table.
But I do have some ideas for the city. I think I moved here and I fell in love with this town. I think there's some one of the big things I want to do is I would start getting on the police department I'm going to make speed traps illegal in this town. I think it is a fucking joke. I think it is just a cheap excuse to rape our citizens from their fucking hard-earned money. Go do your fucking job and actually try to stop a goddamn crime. You hiding on a street corner somewhere and waiting for someone to speed past you is not you doing your job. That is criminal. That is borderline.
Sneaky.
Yeah, just go out on a corner and put your fucking boot out and beg for money with some goddamn dignity. You pieces of shit. None of this speed trap shit. Just people getting to and from work.
So what is it? Is there like a quota or something?
Yeah, it's just money. It's just money. It's just money. That's all it is.
It's more money.
They just
Catch
need.
'em.
Yeah, and that is not them doing their job. Listen, if you're driving around, you're patrolling, and you see someone speeding, you catch them speeding. That's fair. You got it, man. You're doing your job. You're out doing your job. But you just sitting on a corner exclusively waiting for people to speed by you is a waste of our waste. You are not active. We have way bigger problems in this town.
You're basically a fucking hall monitor.
Yeah, man. It's bullshit.
There's a lot of tweakers in the summer.
Yeah,
There should be no speed traps in the summer.
You know what?
If you're speed trapping in the winter because you're like, there's the tweakers are, they're indoors.
Yeah.
They're building camps and like fires and like hanging out,
Yeah.
But in the summer, when they're out in the alleys, everywhere. Everybody's lawnmower is at risk. And we live in this spot.
It could be a push mower. It's still at risk.
Dude, it could be one of those mowers with the blades on them. Yeah. That right?
The rotary ones.
That
yeah,
one,
like, yeah.
So you're an advocate for tweaker traps then?
Yeah. Ooh, hey, man.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Shift the focus.
To tweaker traps. Trap the tweakers. I like, we'll, I also have a big, I think Spokane's been really horrible about developing our downtown. We're the second biggest city in Washington State, and we treat it like a cow town. And we're growing. We got to deal with it one way or the other. First thing I would do is I'd move the bus plaza out of downtown. Bus plaza goes to Sprague and Freya by the Fred Meyer.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
But it'll be close to the freeway. The new 395 is going to go right there by the 90, and the 395 is going to correct right there.
So what's that
right
gonna
there,
be,
Sprague, north south.
North south. Yeah.
So 2 big major freeways. You can get everywhere in town. Buses are a pain in the ass to get in and out of downtown. It's tight spaces. Also just brings all sorts of unsavory characters downtown, and they hang out there and cause trouble. So ruined our downtown. Move the bus plaza. There's no reason for it to be downtown Spokane. And I also think if you own a business downtown, you will get a parking pass for free parking downtown. No more paying, no fucking with these meters, man. You bring hundreds of thousands of dollars tax revenue to Spokane with your business. You pay licensing for that business every year. You don't have to fucking we're not going to nickel and dime you for parking. Yeah. I know
that's not already a thing.
No, man.
That could be your one platform. And
I'm saying
I don't even own a business. I'd vote for that.
I know guys who own restaurants downtown that were riding dirty for years because they had so many parking tickets they couldn't even afford to pay the parking tickets so they could renew their tabs.
Wow.
Because they had so many goddamn parking tickets because they're, you go in a restaurant and you pay your, you plug your meter. If you own a restaurant, man, restaurant can get busy at any minute and you could be fucked. You may not have time in 2.5 hours to run out and replug your meter.
Yeah.
Or legally, you have to move your car also. Legally, you can't replug a meter. You have to move your car, which is also a ridiculous law.
Yeah, they have it set up now where you can pay through the app. So like you can go to this little website and put in your card and pay for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you try to re-up your parking, they say no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You gotta go move your car.
Legally, you have to. You can fill the meter, but once it's up, legally you're supposed
What's
to
the
move your
logic
car.
behind that
Turnover.
law?
They want more people to come to be able to use those.
That really
meters.
is what this is all about.
It's ridiculous. Because I actually yelled at a lady, Jan Quintrell. She was a city council member.
Shout out.
I yelled at Jan Quintrell in a city council meeting years ago. I think I called her a cunt, which that's when they kicked me out. But they were changing the meters downtown during the holiday season. They're making it so they were 2 hours max instead of 3 hours max. And then they were upping the time, and then they were upping the cost of the times, like, a dime, instead of getting you 15 minutes, got you 8 minutes or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were making it so they put in these meters where if you pulled away, it would zero out your time. So the money, so like now if you pull away, if you put $2 in, you stay for 10 minutes, you pull away, that $2 still in the meter, someone else can use it, right?
Yeah.
Gift it, right? So I'm like, Jan, my first question was, Jan, why are we making it so there's less time on the meters? She goes, well, we want turnover in downtown. We want more people coming downtown to park and spend money. I'm like, Jan, these people already came downtown.
Yeah.
Like, they're here. Would you want to put Koreans on rooftops with shotguns to keep people out of fucking downtown? Like, nobody's driving from the north side, parking on a meter, and then hopping a Greyhound to fucking Poughkeepsie. They're downtown spending money. They're already here. Like, what are you trying to get rid of them for? Let them keep spending money. Make another parking lot. Put new parking up. Don't restrict people who are already here and make them want to. That's going to make them not want to come downtown at all.
Yeah.
And then,
Wow.
then we talked about the meters zeroing out, which they actually took those out. Those didn't last long. So I like to think I did some good. She goes, I'm like, well, why does it zero out? And she goes, people should be able to leave it. And if someone else gets to use it, they get to use your time. Like, well, she goes, well, that's not fair because you put the money in. That's not their time. They don't just get it. And I go, okay, then why do you get it? Does that money get refunded to the person, or does it fucking go to the city of Spokane? No, the city of Spokane just gets it, right? So why is it your money and not the citizens' money? I'm like, fuck you, that's bullshit.
So,
you're just stealing this money from the citizen.
Just that's this mindset of a lot of people.
That's the politicians.
That's in there like, well, that's... Some people, I mean, I always thought that politicians were supposed to be in the mindset of the people.
No, man, the criminals. They're all criminals. It's all, every single, that's one of my newest hashtags I've been using all the time is all your politicians are criminals. That is literally like, I don't care what side of the aisle they're on, what they're good for, what they're for. Like, I think they are all criminals. Listen, I voted for Obama twice. I still think he's a criminal in ways. I guarantee you he's done illegal things. Maybe not as bad as other presidents, but I
have no idea,
there's
bro.
some shit.
I don't even know.
It's all about the money, and I always say it like this. Anyone who wants to be in public office like that, like, has a personality disorder already. Like, it's like if you had kids in Boy Scouts and you're like, all right, who's going to take the kids up to Mount Shasta this weekend? And like Rick's hand fucking raises right away. I'm like, all right, not you. You fuck kids. Why do you want to go do this? This is a shitty job, man. Nobody wants to spend a weekend on Mount Shasta with these assholes. Yeah, like, what are you doing to these kids? I'm gonna find the guy who's like didn't even come to the meeting with his kid and is at home watching Sports Center and be like, you don't give a shit about this. You got no skin in the game. You don't want to do this, so you're gonna make sure and do the best job. You like get in and out and just do this shit practically. You don't have an ulterior motive.
That's a really weird way to look at it. Oh my God. Where are your shows at? What
do I got coming up?
With Michael, right?
Let's see here. I've got we got a bunch of private events we're doing actually, but I will be
exclusive.
Yeah, dude. I hooked up this run of golf courses, and damn, dude, they country clubs, man. Old white people got money.
That Mar-a-Lago money.
And there's a lot of good jokes for them.
Yeah,
You're gonna just roast them.
We will be at Shooters in Lewiston on the 14th, and then the Spokane Comedy Club on the 15th. I got a show at TT's Old Iron Brewery in Spokane Valley on the 28th, and just go to Deece Comedy /calendar check. That's where I put all my dates. So, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So beautiful. And man, that show for Tony, man, was fucking.
Yeah.
It was really good, dude.
It's beautiful.
It was just really good. It was really, everybody had like a really cool story, and it just was, I don't know, it was just a smooth flow of just funny people really kind of just being on stage and just like letting all that out, you know. And for us just sitting there, man, I saw people just rolling, man.
Good. That's good.
People just rolling. It was great.
It's therapy.
It was very yeah, it was cathartic in a lot of ways. It was a long couple weeks leading up to that for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, 'cause, man, Tony's my best friend. That guy was I wrote with that guy, I did shows with that guy. Yeah, I mean, I've known him for years. And literally, when I sat on stage, we used to stay up and talk till 4:30 almost every morning on Messenger, just BSing every night.
Really?
And that was like every fucking night.
Stuff
yeah, just talking shit, talking about shows, sending each other jokes, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been weird. That's probably been the weirdest thing, is adjusting, like
Kind of like a void.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, there's times I'm at the comedy club during the show, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's funny," and I'm like, "I gotta go tell that to Tony," and then he's just, I'm not there, man.
Yeah.
But the show was good. It just was a good, really great kind of shows how many people he affected. You know,
Yeah.
that
I thought it was really
that many
fucking cool.
people
Dan
together.
came out.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I was talking to Dan about something else. He's kind of a buddy of mine. We just talk every now and then. Like, I was shot him a text about something else, and then we were talking, and then he's like, "Oh, I think so. Something for that show." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, Lynn, his wife. I don't know." He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing that show. Do you want me to do that show?" I'm like, "You want to do the show?" He's like, "No, do you want me to?" Because his wife found out about it. I was like, "You should do it." And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you no, man. Like, if you want to do this show, like, yeah, you definitely do this show. That sounds great. So Dan Cummins was nice enough to come out and do a set, which was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That was really,
that was funny, man.
Yeah. Cause he lives 40 minutes away now. So
really?
Yeah. Cause he grew up in the area. He was born in like Riggins.
Idaho?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's like 40 minutes in one direction of Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe less. And then he went to Gonzaga. He actually went to Gonzaga. So Yeah, he started doing comedy at Good Times in Spokane Valley. That's where he started doing comedy.
Fucking good,
Good
times,
times.
man.
Don't they
Yeah.
have like a stripper pole or like a
They
cage?
used
They
to.
had cages.
They
Yeah.
did. I don't know if they still have the cages. They may sell them up. They don't use them anymore.
No.
When I moved here, Good Times was lit, man. That place was
Yeah.
off the wall bonkers.
Yeah.
And then it just fell off completely.
Why?
I don't know.
Liquor control board coming in there. Some
As soon
weird.
as they took the
question,
car
man.
off the wall
Yeah, I know.
outside, it all went to shit, bro.
Yeah.
What? There's a car.
There was a car,
It was
like
half a car,
Yeah. It
in
was-
the wall.
it
like
was
like
weird.
in a nice artistic way,
I mean,
or in like a destruction.
like a 50s diner style way. You know, they put like half an old Impala coming out of a wall, like that type of thing.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had one of those at like the spot up on the north side too, right?
Oh
There was
yeah,
that
it
spot
was
coming
at
up.
Swax, or what used to be Swax.
What used to be
It's
Swax?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell.
When
it's-
I was a kid,
I
bro,
think
that
it's
was
the
always a
Soul
landmark.
Lounge or whatever now.
The
House
Soul.
of Soul.
Lamb.
House of Soul.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the House of Soul now.
I don't even.
That
it's
place
just.
has been so many things.
It's so many things that you can't. I don't even. I'm just like, what is it? Okay,
Yeah.
it'll change.
Yeah,
We
dude.
had some shows up there. My dad was like, "You mean the old Swack Hammers?
Yeah.
I used to perform these."
Swack
Drum up
Hammers?
Yeah, it used
Yeah,
to be
Swack
Swack Hammers
man.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Swag.
I think that's what it was when I moved here. It was still Swack Hammers. Then it became Swax, and then it was maybe the Spotlight for a minute, and then it was the Omega Lounge.
Yeah,
Omega.
and the
and then
Emperor
it was
Room.
Emperor Room.
Yeah, Neil owned it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's been so.
And that was the
definitely-
last one, right?
then.
No, it was
no.
it was Omega Lounge was the one before it is now, which is the House of Soul.
Oh,
And House of Soul was downtown. And then they
so
moved
same
up
thing
there.
with the Palomino Club. Remember
on
that other one
Francis
is just like right
and
over.
whatever.
Weird little
Yeah, there was
spot.
like that.
Is that
little
still
spot.
open? Didn't
No.
it burn down or something?
I don't know if it burned down. I know it closed. It was the Palomino for a while. We saw Devin the Dude there.
I saw Devin the Dude there.
I saw
Yeah.
Devin the Dude at the B side before it was where Garageland is now.
Oh wow.
On spray on whatever that is, Riverside or whatever.
Mhm.
And this was when I first moved here, like 9 years ago. He played there. I mean, the stage is like as big as this room, you know.
Yeah.
And he came in like an hour late, and just in. I remember sitting there around this show. I'm like, how many of these fucking people know who this guy is? Like, I know I know who he is, but like, do these guys know who this guy is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm actually always surprised when I'm at a Devin the Dude show to see like how many other motherfuckers are like, oh, I'm like, oh shit, you know this shit too.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, cool. Like, because I was in Seattle and it was just big crowd of people. Just everybody
Yeah.
knew the words and it was just like, damn, bro. Like, cause he's my favorite rapper. So
Oh,
it's
yeah?
like, yeah. So it's just
All right.
just
He
like,
got
I
a
like,
Devin hat on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Devin
Oh,
gave me
damn.
this hat. Dude, it was good luck. But I just like smooth shit
Yeah.
in general, and he's just got a lot of little
So what,
some
like
funky
some
smooth
De
shit.
La Soul
Oh yeah, dude.
stuff, a Far
But
Side
even
stuff
just
like that.
even just like older, you know, like Marvin Gaye and stuff like that. Like I
Alright.
can just listen to that stuff all day, bro. Any kind of just smooth, you know, just vibey stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I hate to use the word.
I saw not Marvin Gaye, but I saw Al Green live at the Hollywood Bowl.
You really?
Yeah,
Where?
Hollywood Bowl in LA.
Damn.
Yeah, I got he played. This is when I was still living down there, and he had a show at the Hollywood Bowl, which is a great venue. It's outside venue that they do shows at in LA. It's on this hillside, and just so all the seats are like stadium seating raised up this hillside, and they've got this little like looks like one of those half dome opera, but the acoustics are just. It's one of the best places for bands to play because the acoustics are just fucking amazing, and yeah, I got tickets to go see this show. He was playing. I'm like, man, I cannot pass up an opportunity to see. I love Al Green.
Yeah,
I
oh,
can't
yeah.
pass up an opportunity to see
yeah.
Al. And man, that motherfucker still had it. Just kill. You got the little moves, little two step, and fucking just belting it out. Still, I'm like, God damn, this guy is still.
Is he alive still?
I think Al Green's still alive.
We gotta look that up, bro.
Yeah, please look that up, man. He was.
But this was like it was when I still lived in LA. This had to have been 13 years ago, maybe more. So
He was that. I wanna get close. to you.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. I like that smooth stuff, man. Damn.
That's-
So in
yeah.
LA, you know, you get a lot of opportunities, I'm sure, growing up in LA to kind of see cooler shit that people
Yeah.
in Spokane don't get to see.
Oh,
Like Al Green at the
Al Green. Dude, I sang karaoke with Nate Dogg at a bowling alley on the north side of Long Beach.
Al Green is
Yeah.
alive, by the way.
Al Green's like, yeah, good.
Good.
World's a
73
better
years of
place.
age, of
World's a
course.
better place with Al Green alive.
Okay.
But yes, he must have been around 60 because this was like 13 years ago.
God damn.
But yeah, especially growing up and living in Long Beach, man, a lot of those guys who were rappers, like with coming up with Snoop, I don't know I don't know how much other people know about a lot of these guys, because like to me they were like I love G-Funk, that's my favorite type of hip hop, but there's a lot of tangentially related like Dog Pound artists that never blew up to the point where like a lot of them were still just living in Long Beach, man. Like guys like, you know, Trey D or Badass or Technique or even
Badass is dope.
Dude, Badass, he just dropped a new album
Did he?
earlier, like about 6 months ago that
Damn.
fucking slaps, by the way. Opening track, I Like My Shit Knockin', is dope. Check it out.
Okay.
Bro.
I'm not familiar.
That's been my jam for a while, actually.
Badass is dope.
But yeah, like this girl I knew, it was kind of dating. She calls me one night and she's like, "Hey, you got to come to Carson Bowling Alley." So on Carson Boulevard on the north side of Long Beach, and I'm like, nah, I'm just downtown, and no. She goes, "No, you got to come up here." And I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "We're just doing karaoke. You just trust me, come up here." And I'm like, "Oh." She goes, "Listen, just come up here. I promise you will not be disappointed." So I'm like, they're all the way across town. I'm like, all right. I go up there, walk in, and there's just Nate Dogg sitting there singing karaoke. And she's like, "Yeah, dude, he's been here all night. He's just hanging out." So I started talking to him, and I guess he went up there like pretty regularly and just sang. And he was a cool dude. He just hang out and sing songs. And, you know, cause he's one of those guys, like, again, without context, like I always said, if you were walking through a mall and you saw Brad Pitt, without context, you probably wouldn't realize you saw Brad Pitt.
Right.
You know, because like if you're in Hollywood or you're at a movie premiere, like your mind's kind of like, I might see a star. But if you're just walking through a fucking Dick's Sporting Goods in, you know, Carson, California, and see Brad Pitt, your mind isn't like, your mind's like, that guy looked like Brad Pitt, maybe. Like that's probably
yeah. You're not like gonna pursue it.
yeah. So,
Like Brad.
yeah, you look like a psycho. Like just run after. He's like, "Man, I work here."
Exactly. Bro. You know that's
My
gonna
name
happen.
tag says Nick. Yeah. So I met him. I ended up at a barbecue at Warren G's aunt's house. Warren G was there. Like my buddy B Smith, this dude at Ohio that moved to Long Beach to do hip hop music.
Mm-hmm.
We used to hang out and do music together and hang out and shit. And we were going to a barbecue. We got invited to a barbecue, and we stopped by a grocery store to pick up some food. And we're walking on the aisles, and I look down, and I see this guy, and I go, "Dude, I think that's Warren G." And he's like, "What?" And he looks at me, and he goes, "I think it is too." And he just dropped an album called The Midnight Hour. It was like his fourth album, and it's a really good album. And so I'm like, I'm gonna tell him I like that album. And I just went up, I'm like, "Hey man, what's up, man?" I'm like, "My name's Deece. I just want to say, like, I grew up in Long Beach. Like, your last album, Midnight Hour, is dope. Keep doing what you're doing." And I'm like, that's all I want. Like, I don't like to bother people. I just want to let them know.
Right.
And I'm like, he's like, "Oh, hey, well, thanks, man. He goes, "What's your name?" I'm like, Deece. And he goes, "Right on." And we started talking for a second. He goes, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" He goes, I'm like, "Well, we're going to this barbecue and hanging out." And I tell him where. He goes, "Oh, no shit." He goes, "That's my aunt's house." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, yeah, I'm headed over there too. That's where I'm going. He was picking up food and going to the same barbecue. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you there, man. And like, we just like hung out at this barbecue with Warren G and a bunch of other people and just kicking it.
And it's just like a normal thing.
Yeah, it was just, that shit happens all the time.
He seems pretty chill. I opened for him probably about 5 or 6 years
Oh,
back.
yeah?
That was me and Cody did that show.
Nice.
I got to chop it up with him briefly, but he
Yeah.
seemed real down to earth.
Where at? Where's
The Red Room.
At the Red Room?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Oh, I remember when he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Good show.
Warren G, man. He's
I met a lot of rappers over the years, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Ice Cube, Ice-T, Coolio. I smoke weed at a studio in Denver. Well, in more like it's closer to Pueblo, Colorado, with Daz and Corrupt.
Nice.
Oh, that's dope.
They were recording some shit there.
Daz, Corrupt, man. I would cool to meet them too.
Dude,
man.
yeah.
Listen to their music a lot.
All that old school G-Funk, West Coast Gangster, early West Coast Gangster, Dog Pound, Death Row stuff that's my jams right there. I mean, I love other hip hop, but that is where it's at for me.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Did you used to rap?
I did.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Did you have a rap name?
There's music. I used to go. Man, my buddy used to call me Diablo because he said I was a fucking.
Ooh,
I was a pretty crazy kid, man.
Diablo.
Like I was a pretty crazy kid. Because I was the kid who was young and hung with all the older guys. And when you hung with the older, like my cousins were all West Side Longos, which is like a big Mexican gang in Long Beach. And when you were the young guy hanging with all the old guys, you had to keep up, and you had to do the crazy shit. Otherwise, you couldn't hang, man. So like, I got a reputation of being able to do fucking anything.
So it was Diablo.
Yeah.
So you like, what was it like making rap albums in the early 80s? Like,
break beats, a lot of reel to reel, just cutting those tapes with razor blades. It was crazy, man. I liked it. I liked doing it a lot. I liked producing music. I liked making beats and music and stuff, and I did that for a while. I actually had to quit. The reason, so when I quit is because I did it when I lived in Northwest for a while too, and then I did it when I moved back to LA. And my buddy, the people I was doing music with, Long Beach is a big Crip neighborhood, and a lot of them were gang affiliated. And there was one party we were at, like some shit kept happening, and there was one party we were at, there was a shooting, and one of our homeboys got shot, and like it just got crazy to the point, and I'm like, man, I got out of all this shit. I'm like, this is the lifestyle I got out of. Like, I want to do music, I don't want to do this. And it was just got to the point where it's like they're too tied together. Like where I'm at, how I'm doing music, I'm like, so I just fucking had to walk away, man.
This is the craziest fucking
walk away.
story I've ever fucking heard. Like, oh, you used to rap, Deece? Yeah. Long Beach, bitch. Had to quit. Too rough. Motherfucker.
This is a crazy story. My big takeaway, though, I want a beat from Deece, man. I need Deece to make me some beats. I don't shoot nobody.
I don't even know if I could. It was like we didn't have the shit. And this was 10 to 15 years ago, longer. Like, it wasn't like, we didn't have what, people make shit on their phone now.
I don't even know,
it's
too.
crazy.
Man, it's crazy.
It's beyond me. I can't do that part.
But like one of, my buddy had a studio and stuff. We'd fuck around all the time. I loved it, but I literally had to walk away. I couldn't stop talking to all the people I knew. I moved out of Long Beach even, man. I moved down to North Orange County because I was just like, I'm not trying to get sucked up into this game. I grew up in this shit. I'm not trying to do it again. And it was like, I can do music or I can live.
So you weren't into music and doing that really, like when you came up here to Spokane?
No. After that was before I gave it up, and I still lived in LA or California for a couple more years before
Before you moved, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Man, and then got into comedy.
Then got into comedy, man, and it's
was it so like when you were doing music, were you doing like live shows and stuff like that?
We did some, yeah. My buddy used to have this. Actually, my buddy had this house, this condo on Beach Boulevard in Long Beach, which is just a block from off the beach, literally. And it was empty. We just used it for parties. For like private parties or doing events, and we'd put on shows there. One of my favorite memories of that place is I met this. So there's the South Bay, which kind of is west of Long Beach, northwest of Long Beach. It's really rich area, a bunch of rich white people and stuff, and Torrance and all that area. And I invited this white couple I knew. I mean, they're like my age, but these just like grew up rich white. And
Is that important for the story later?
yeah.
Oh, it was like, a white couple.
It is important for that. I only bring up race if it's important. And they,
It's a callback.
they come back.
Industry term.
Yeah. I get a call and they're like, hey, we're in our car. We're parked near the address. Can you come out and get us? I'm like, sure. And I come outside and there's, I get them like, all right, hey, come on in. They're like, okay, is this okay? Are we okay? It's like nighttime in downtown Long Beach. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, well, we were worried about this guy. And there's this dude. I don't know what his real name was. I called him Rocky. But he walked up and down the block. He always, had a big blue, like, marshmallow puffy coat on. Mm-hmm. Walked up and down the block. Just walked up. All I saw him doing was always walking up and down the block with his hand in his coat like this. Just in his coat. That's, all the time. And we walked by and they're like, and I'm like, what's up, Rocky? He's like, hey, what's a good night, man? I'm like, nothing, man. Chilling, having a party. He goes, cool. And they're
so this guy's not part of the party.
No, I had no idea.
This is just an alley guy.
Just a guy out on the street.
Just
and they go, what's that guy doing? And when you pass him, I'm like, I don't know, probably selling crack. And like, or try selling drugs. I'm like, do you want to ask him? They're like, no. I go, neither do I. So, they go,
let's move on.
They're like, do you know him? I'm like, not really. That's the most exchanges we have. Like, he's pleasant, and they go, I don't know. Is it safe with him here? I go, honestly, I'd feel less safe if he wasn't here. Because if he's not here, then something has gone wrong. Something is going down if Rocky's not here. Yeah. Like, I know that there's a problem happening in the area.
So that's how you know that order is kept.
Yeah.
Wow. Bro, that's that, like, when you're in that environment, that's the thing that your brain does to keep yourself safe.
That's like when you see animals running out of the forest first.
Yeah. Like, if Rocky's gone, it's like when the birds are flying away in a horror movie. Like a flock of birds, you see them, and just like, where do they all go? And then next thing you're getting attacked by something. Like, hey, you shouldn't figure it out, man. It's the natural order. It's the instinct. They know what's going on. So, but yeah, we used to do live shows, and it was.
So the transition from kind of doing a live, you were used to being in front of people and kind of entertaining. Yeah,
I think just growing up the way I did too was like, it was a lot of, I guess I never realized it until later, but like kind of high pressure, high stakes. So you kind of learn to be calm when there's chaos around you. Like, there's always chaos around, but like, to me, it didn't seem like chaos. It was just life. I didn't know. You didn't know any better. I didn't know a different way. I just knew that that's how it was. So, as I got older, I realized I'm like, oh, that's bad. But it made me like, I just don't have a pulse. Like, I don't, like you said, I just kind of like, everything's very. Oh, that's good. And that really helps you be able to get up and just try the craziest shit. Yeah. Yeah, I can go for it, man. I'll say anything. I don't care. I got no reputation. I love it. Dude, I definitely, and I think I do speak for everybody, okay? I want to see like more like that fun content shit, like on the Instagram and shit. That, man, because like just like some of that like great, those gems, even if it's just like a little preview to like, oh shit, go to that YouTube. He uploaded that new video. Because seriously, I was going through the YouTube and I was like, how did I miss all this? Yeah. Most of it I get on Facebook. I can't get on Instagram because you can only do 1 minute videos. And Instagram TV. What? Yeah, Instagram. IGTV. You can post like a 25-minute video. Say what? Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I don't know about 10 minutes. Okay. Unless you have if you have 10,000 followers or a blue check, they'll let you go higher. So 10 minutes. So 10 minutes. Is it like tied into your regular Instagram account? Yeah. So it's like a separate app that you download. It's IGTV. Okay. And then you can upload longer videos to it, but you can flip a little switch where it posts a preview. So basically, you'll get a 1 minute video on your Instagram feed. Yeah. And you just tap it and it opens the full thing. So what about people who don't have the app? If they tap it, they can still watch the whole thing. It links it to it. Yeah. I think you just need the app to post it, right? Yeah. Is that so? It's just for the end, not the end user. It's just for the uploader. I want more people to use it because it's actually cool. Because when it's on Instagram TV, then you actually open it up and then you actually have like the little.
you know, what's that thing called? The little bar to like speed
scan through it?
to
Yeah.
scan through it. Because normally when you watch a video, you just have to watch it, right? And sometimes like you can skip through stuff, or you know, it'll pause if you exit out, you come back, it's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're just adding like little features that are
That's
cool.
good.
But
I'll have to put. All right, I'll do that. I don't put a lot of like stand up on there. 'Cause
Yeah, I get that.
I want people to, you know. I mean, I've got a lot of material, but I do, you know. if
oh,
I
the
have
elk,
this
the
set-
elk shit was.
Yeah, that was just see shit like that. I'll
I
post
love
'cause that's,
that.
like random. That's a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, that's not in my set. That was just a conversation I was having with the audience, and this lady.
It's elk.
Yeah. I said these elks were running down the street. Apparently, she's like, "It's elk." I'm like, "Nobody likes you."
So what a waste of time.
Yeah,
that is.
was
yeah.
good,
I'm
bro.
sure a hoot at an improv show. Fuck.
Yeah, and I saw that one. That was good. I just like to be able to. I don't know. I use Instagram and Twitter both as this is like kind of my main thing. I
Really?
scan through it in the morning when you sip in the coffee and you catch a good.
Yeah.
You know, especially some of this other shit. Like I was very entertained by that shit where you were running around town like talking to people and there was. I don't know if this was part of that video, but that dude that didn't know your name when he was going. Was that a clip from your show when he was like, "Hey, yeah. Well, I don't know. I told you who was next," and he like just.
What?
There was some dude that was like introducing what I assumed to be you,
Yeah,
and he just like
yeah.
forgot your name.
Yeah.
and he's just
That-
like, I forgot it. Just fucking.
Oh, that was at that was Daryl Burns at the Chan's Red Dragon open mic he runs.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that was. He should stop fucking hosting that. Jesus.
So we. Yeah, I actually wanted to film another one of those and put them side by side to see if like more people
That was so
knew
good.
who I was now. So I thought that'd be funny. I wanted to cut it up different and see if more people would.
That
know.
one guy that you were showing, he's like Eminem.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never seen this guy in Spokane ever.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, really, never, not even in this alley, nowhere. I told him, right, he's never been in this alley. Maybe the guy's like, no, definitely not. And that's like holding a picture of me next to me.
Oh god.
But yeah, that, see, and that's the shit. That's why I like doing that talk show back in the day, though, because those are segments that, like, I mean, I can still film them and put them out, but like that was such a great bit for like a talk show, like a late night talk show. Like that's the type of thing that's you see like man on the street bits, and I want to do more of that this summer. I'm gonna go out with my film crew and film some bits, like talking to people and playing games with people on the street and stuff like that. I think it's fun, but
Well, it's fun to watch, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm excited to see. I'm just excited to see what summer brings, dude. Getting outside, getting out of this cold, this winter, and getting outside and
real.
being able to. Today was beautiful.
yeah.
And dude, I'm excited to see what you're doing, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, you
and-
bet, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, bro. All right, everybody. Deece Casillas.
Deece Comedy, check it out.
All right, guys. Peace.
They keep trying to tell me they keep trying to tell me. Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I've always been a sociopath. I eat mushrooms a lot. Robot whale queefing and fucking blowing the load. So she got an abortion. I think I called her a cunt, which that's when they kicked me out. Tweaker trap. That's what I call my dick. Jerk off. My grandma's been disappointed me for years. And I gave up fucking. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, man.